good morning, happy people. My name is JSong. Everything in today's video is never financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. Everything is just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. I eat red crayons for breakfast. Trade in the markets carries substantial risk. Never trade more than you can afford to lose, and especially beware against high leverage trading. Past performance is never indicative of future performance. We're going to start with SUI. It's a crypto we've done a few times before. Let's see where it's sitting at in a new health. I like it. I like where it's sitting. We were looking for a health to be above this area. Larger uptrend that is happening in quite a nice acceleration. We have a backup support here, but I like where this is at. A parabolic is forming, I believe, on this. And I can tell because if I look at this bottom, here's a weekly chart, and I cut through here, I start cutting through the candles in this area. And it's not because it's a wick match. I don't think that's the case here. I don't think it's the case. We're cutting through these candles. So I'm going to be actually drawing something like this to update this chart. Like this. Core and core. So those three we're going to gather. I'm going to bring it like that. And then that one I'm going to try to just double check for the wick match. And nope. Okay, so I'm going to use this. And then I'm going to duplicate that and place it on top to give me, make sure they're lined up quite nicely. This one could move to the right. Good. As you remember, so yep, that's going to be about right. So I'm going to also be focusing on these two numbers then. $11, $10, sorry, $10 and about $14.80. I'll be looking at those areas. All right. Flat was overcome, and I like where it's sitting. You look at the RSI real quick. Nice strong pullback on RSI. I love that pullback. We only pulled back here about 45%, and RSI has pulled back about 90%. So that's a very positive bullish theme. And I'm gonna still be a bit bullish for this crypto. And any other questions regarding this crypto right now? And this is going to be bullish. RSI is bullish. Price here. Why is that over here? That needs to be here. There we go. So overall on the weekly chart, our higher time frames, we should be still moving into health. And let me just take a look at the volume real quick. No secondary accumulation that I see on this crypto. No primary accumulation either. If there was some primary accumulation, it may have been started to be right here. Maybe that's when it started becoming bullish here in these two areas. And followed by a low demand in that same exact area at the sword cut. That's quite nice. Very low volume right at this point. So I'm still gonna be bullish this. Although I'm not gonna be super bullish this coin. That is for sure, because I don't see a heavy accumulation. I would be also looking at the DP projection of this area. This is the same exact distance. So if I was looking for an exit on this coin, now that we hit this health, I'm going to be looking for us to move closer to that 777 and 741. So that's how I'm going to view that. Any other questions regarding this crypto, SUI? Going once. Going twice. Okay. I'm going to be looking for us to move something like here. That block. And you can be conservative at 741. Okay. If you're looking to get some spikes in this area, we'd probably be pushing it to 10. We do have a little bit of spikes here and there. Maybe that's what, but and very large spikes here. So the odds of us hitting something like that is not so hard, either one of those areas. But to be conservative, 7, it's a very high range. This is where you're going to start wanting to zoom in on those more like on a daily chart. And you want to clear those quite cleanly, okay? Which means the daily charts need to match. So this is so far good. And what I would like to see, therefore, is a health above here and start moving. Otherwise, we can come back down from these areas, okay? A smaller watch line can be drawn there if you want to as well. But the bigger ones already have hit, so you don't really need another one. Okay, this is close to an entry. I would feel comfortable getting in here if I was trying to catch the bullish movement for a lot of altcoins. Altcoins are bullish in my opinion based on our reports the last 2 and 3 weeks. Okay. All right. Any other questions? SUI going once. Going twice. Okay. I am bullish. All right. BMNR. We'll look at it on the Bitmine Immersion Technologies. Yeah. Hey Jeff.
Yeah, it's a stop.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna look at it on Arca, whatever that is. Good, nice clean break. Okay, I'm gonna pull this on a weekly chart because the candles are very messy. Actually, I'm gonna go to a 2-week chart to get rid of some of that messiness. Nice, beautiful parabolic. Pushing volume in there. I like it, Jeff. Wow. Really strong volume here in an area that's actually a health. So in this case, I'd want to be more bullish. I wouldn't want to. This is not like strong volume on the underside of a resistance in a negative area. This is like, for example, this is not volume here under this area. It's volume right here trying to clear us up. And I think that's going to be a very good thing. That's going to be a very good thing. In addition, that volume starts about right there still while there's support going on. So I'm not going to review this volume as weakness. I'm going to think this volume is trying to push. Now, is there a campaign going on here? Is this professionally accumulated? Not that I see. I don't see that at all. So yeah, I don't see that. But there's a lot of money being thrown at this crypto right now, and I don't think it's just to sell. Otherwise, we would see more of a weakness type of thing. Now, if I'm measuring a little bit more carefully, I would say to myself that this area is actually a health, and so is this area. So these two actually can be read something like this. Health. One moment. And put on the background here. There we go. So I'd be looking at this as a very positive area, and I would be also looking at this as a positive area. Okay, now because I have parabolics within parabolics, which is rare, I want to pay attention to any other parabolics that I might have. And because of that, I'll point out a resistance and then we'll get it confirmed, okay? I'll show you how we can confirm it real quick. Here's the weakness first. Let me put that on the board. And then we're going to look at this foundational area. You'll notice that the foundational area here is bowed. So we're going to draw a parabolic somewhere here, and it's going to level out somewhere where we need to. So let's draw that first. Okay, so larger parabolic downtrend, but also many parabolics within the parabolic. So we're not going to overlook that. Okay, that's the... Okay, I'll get you a color you can see right now. We'll just leave this as ice blue. Okay, so this is going to level out approximately in that range. Lower. Okay. According to what I see, it should be somewhere about right there. Okay. The number now, how we're gonna confirm this is we're gonna look at target system. Since we have the data in the past, we can use this. It's gonna be an easy thing, and this will help get you an exit. 52,594 as a high, and 32,851. Very widespread. So we're definitely going to need to find target system to see if we can get that a little bit more cleaner. So let's now do our target system. I have a bottom here, but because I have multiple bottoms in that same area, I'm going to use the one farthest out. In this case, I'm going to use here first. If it doesn't, it only gives me one giant block, then I have to go smaller and break it up into chunks. Now when I clicked on the volume, this is basically almost like nothing volume. Almost still at zero comparatively. So maybe the target system's not going to work in this particular instance because there's no volume to extract that target from. There's a way we can quickly do this by turning the volume on logarithmic. It can help me get a better picture of what's going on. It keeps it balanced. And we'll shorten up those. Jeff, I'm actually going to change my mind about this one. You got some strong ramping up on the down move. And that's a good thing. Okay. There's your down move. And you're ramping up in volume. This is going to be an accumulation.
JSong.
Here was your first sign right there, too. That was your first ramping up. The only thing is, I don't think it may not be ready, but you have a strong, consistent volume. There's increases and things like that, but the general style is you're going to see it up. But when you see a consistent, almost mechanical, sometimes you can use that. The only thing is that I just turned this on logarithmic for the volume, and I don't like using logarithmic for the volume because I haven't, in my experience, seen enough of that. But when I compare it to these two, I can still see an overall shape, and that's going to be something that's going to make me want to probably hold on to this a little bit longer. But it doesn't give us a point when there is a no demand or low demand situation. We have not seen that yet. So I don't know if it's really ready to take off, especially if we're not solidly above these areas. And with stocks, you got to be a little bit cleaner, because with stocks you got to be a little bit more flexible, because there's a lot of messiness in stocks. Now, you had a question, Jeff?
Yeah, regarding the volume, how do you magnify it, turn it on? Because if you look at the 2 weeks chart, I managed to get only the 4 bar, the volume. Yeah, how do you magnify this portion?
On the volume, let's see, there was under settings, it should be there. There's usually a letter A right here. Where did I click it? I just clicked it just a bit ago. Okay. Isolate your volume to a full screen. Double click on your actual volume. And then you're going to go to your settings right underneath me, right here, okay, where my mouse is moving. And then turn that on logarithmic. Okay. Turn that on logarithmic. And that's going to do that, okay? Otherwise, that was the regular view for that one, okay?
Yeah, mine is already on logarithmic, but it still shows the 4 bar. But you managed to get the zoom, the magnification. I still couldn't get that.
You put your finger there and squeeze it up and down, you can scale it. If you're still only seeing like that, you need to stretch it out a few times until you can get something like that. Do you see that? Does that work? That might help you out.
Yeah, the stretch I can see. Yeah, the stretching is only for the vertical. If I were to stretch the horizontal, I'm still getting only 4 bar for the 2 weeks chart.
Okay. You mean, and you're talking about this volume, right?
Yeah, no, this one is
4 bars.
This volume.
Yeah, when I'm not sure what to do after that, because when I do regular, then hold on. When I'm clicking on the volume and I do that regular, that's when you only see that 4 bars. Everything is basically zeroed out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so
this is what I'm getting right now.
If you do logarithmic and still not working, I really don't know what to do except for to try and stretch it out and see if you got anything. There's usually a letter too that says A, the letter A, and I don't see that letter either. Try click the auto fits data to screen. Try that one. Maybe that will help you scale it. Okay. All right. And then for target system, I cannot really get any viable targets because the volume's so skewed on the target system. So there's not really a way for me to isolate each piece. It's just still a large block. So I'm going to stay away from target system right now. But I would probably use the leveled out parabolic. Okay? One more thing for you. And I'm sorry I couldn't figure out your volume situation.
Yeah, I guess I have to try it later. I'll play with it later. Yeah.
Yep. Now, if I'm going to measure this last move down, it seems to me a flat. Duplicating the DP projection, Jeff, you're going to get you somewhere up there. And that's going to be about where the parabolic levels off to. So that's probably going to help confirm this for me. Visual order bring to front. So I'm going to be left with something like this. Okay? The DP is overlapping The leveled out parabolic. Okay. So I would be looking therefore here. Got it? All right. Somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I have another question. When I look at the 1-day chart instead of the 2 weeks, I notice that it's actually right. Just me. The resistance foresee that it will it will go down for this days.
No, I don't think so. We already started cracking here once. On the daily chart, you're cracking again. I don't really think that might be the case just yet. Okay, but it is a resistance. I'm not saying I would buy this right now. I really want to have a strong support here, and without on the daily chart sitting on there just right now, it's a little risky for me. Yeah, I think the volume is indicating there's going to be a strong. They're trying to push it right now.
Okay.
The volume for those 4 bars. Yep. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. So I would probably be holding on. I probably wouldn't buy it until a little bit higher if I wasn't already in it. Okay. If you're already in it, then I would be probably holding on till somewhere up there. Okay. All right. Let's go.
I haven't got into it.
Oh, okay.
Think of buying. Yeah.
Okay. Then the price you're looking to probably build some support on, look for some candles on there, is $81. Okay.
Okay.
Though that would explain why it's so skewed, because if this is only $81 and you're looking to get up to $32,000, that's huge. That's huge. Huge. Crypto was once trading at a very high, or this stock was once trading at, is that the price it's been trading at? 300.
I don't think so. Like the highest price, I think. Oh yeah, okay.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah.
285 billion. Now, I don't know if this is in US dollars, or whatever, however it tracks it, but whatever portion this is, that's where you want to strike, and that's where you probably want to exit. But it's just an absolutely massive number. This was back in 1999, 98. Wasn't that near the tech stock 2000s techstock.com bubble?
I have no idea.
Yeah, huge. Yeah, huge. Just massive. Okay. A little scary for my blood, this one. But I would like a cleaner support, but that's basically what I see. All right, for SHX, we're looking at a larger uptrend. Okay, we're still there. Our last big health, we spoke about this cryptos back was here. Okay, sitting on top of this area. That was a nice one. Our last resistance should have been about right here, down here. So this touching this bottom move here was a health. The next health was here. And the next health after all of this was going to be our tiger target, mixed tiger target. So this one's been hit. So we're going to start fading some of these away. Then our watch line was broken. So there was another health somewhere above right here. So that's nice. All of this is going nice. And then another health here. So all of this is hit. So let me just mark some of these things really quickly. And we'll fade away. So we got our we broke into the health at 0.13. Currently price is at 0.30, so it's already made over a few 100% on there. That's quite nice. 200%, so that's nice. And then we are almost at our DP projection. So that's going to be about right there. Okay. I want to see my previous thoughts on here real quick. Okay, here's our previous SHX closer to here on Gate.io. We had some watch lines, some health. Looking to get closer to 0.5 and 0.9 up in the future. Those will still be coming. Those will still be coming up. And I think we adjusted our angles to hit higher now. So we're going to stretch these out. This needs to come out as well. There we go. So these are going to keep moving. These are dynamic positive numbers. The number for coming season is now going to be 14 cents. Current price again being 0.3 cents. That means if we can build above our next health on top of 0.4 cents, you're going to be looking for this to do more. Okay, so we would be looking for us to probably clear the upper resistance if we can get to that area. So it might look something like this. And it looks like this one maybe should have been added to our accumulation list. We identified large buying in the past of this crypto. So that's something interesting. Yeah, this was our previous back in November 2024. Professional buying seems to have occurred. So yeah, we saw this back in September. Quite nice. That was when our health appeared. And buying identified, let's see, back in September. This was of November 2024. So we were looking somewhere, seeing this area as more accumulation coming in. Okay. Professional buying seemed to have occurred for SHX, and there was not a major distribution phase or sell-off. Okay, so that's good. That means the big boys who entered here in these areas before the healths were occurring, or as they are occurring, which is going to be here and here. They're in this crypto, but they did not exit. Primarily, they'd be exiting at the tops, and they didn't really exit. You see that? So this is a very good thing. This is a previous map. And that's something to note. So if we see them exiting, it's going to show up in the volume somewhere here. And it's important to see when they're exiting. And I told this to my own brother. I said, listen, one of the things and Crypto Night and Michael Lawrence, we were chatting the other day. And I said to them, one of the things we want to see in cryptos is when the big players enter, we also want to see them exiting. If we don't see them exiting, then we're not really looking for them to end their campaign. Okay, so we want to see them entering on the down bars, down moves, and down trends before those healths come in, like we've identified, large buying. Okay, but we also want to see them exiting on high volume or up bars. Now here's where things get a little bit interesting. So I showed you back here they didn't exit, so we're looking for still higher prices. They're going to want to try to make a profit, right? If they're buying here, they want to make a profit. Now here's the thing. We're now starting to see up bars on high volume. There's two ways we can interpret this. We can either say this, maybe there's selling going on, but we also want to look at it in context. Is here an important push for price? We don't want it to see it super excess, but above average is not so bad. We just want to see this in areas where we need to see them. So this one right here, we got some the wicks came back down. Somebody's taking profits here, but also look where the close is. The close is above this area right here. Maybe this was an important area for us as flats are active in this area. Maybe that would be a strong area to clear at that time. We certainly had a health there at that area right there, so that was nice. So maybe that's going to be good for us volume here. The next strong up bar is up here. Do we have strong volume? Yes. Is there going to be some profit taking? Maybe some, but I don't want to see this excess. Here's the other high volume bars here. This is an example of a push as well. Let me just show it to you real quick. Okay. We measured. That's my alert line here. Hi, son. Hi. Delete my alert line. We don't need that anymore. Okay. Actually, this one's going to be also a push here as well. How this works right here, these two bars, I'm looking, match these two moves here. Okay, the parabolic that we were measuring down here on the smaller time frames was pushed over. They threw money to launch the campaign. Then there should be a pullback in volume at the pullback in price, which means they're really only interested in just pushing it, and they're not really interested in bringing it back down at the moment. So this is where we see these two events here. Okay, so there's our push. That's an example of a bullish behavior. Here's our push, and then there's our resting volume. It's just lack of interest. Okay, they're not interested in that down move. This would probably be better to explain on a smaller time frame, but this is the kind of things you're looking for. So that would be a push, and we can construe this as, or view this as push one, and then this would be another event here, and this would be push two. All right, so we're looking at these two things as being something bullish. This candle and this candle. All right, so I'm gonna be therefore looking and saying this is not the exit from the big boys, so therefore we're still looking for higher prices. Now if we're close enough here, we're gonna start seeing some of that higher volume if this is where they really are gonna take profit. But again, as I've mentioned on Saturday, the crypto markets have more room based on USDT.D to fall down. Based on BTC.D, there's more room for altcoins to shine and grow. There's more wiggle room before Bitcoin's going to become dominant again. And then there's more room on the total 3 chart to move up. So I'm going to say, and like I said on Saturday, even though some of these cryptos are at their resistances, look for them to kick over or push through those resistances over the weekend or over the week. And in this weekend, we saw a lot of cryptos breaking above their resistances. So this one has not broken over its next resistance, but this is coming up. So this is something you can say we may have a higher chance in the season to break and crack over these lines. The number is 040. So I'm still going to be a little bit bullish this one at least a little bit longer. And if the market slow down heavily, we can't crack this ceiling, then I'm going to look for this to pull back quite nicely. The numbers for the pullback are going to be down here at the larger oscillation of 0.013, and that would seem like losing a lot of wealth in that one. Okay. And then the angle of support, which I'm gonna give you guys just right now. So one more moment. Let's fade a lot of these old lines away, which are just getting them in the way right now. All of these lines that were hit. Mixed Tiger, see July 23rd. Okay, so we talked about all of those lines. Let's put these prices on the left side and fade some of these away. Okay, so that's good enough. I'm going to draw the support. It's an accelerated adjustment. With the wick match, it's somewhere there. Okay. I can duplicate that meaty core angle and put it on the wick side, and it's going to match exactly, and it is. So therefore, we're left with a range in here. If price were to fall directly today, it's going to be somewhere about 0.15. So that's where I'm going to say that support is. Okay. So those are the two supports. If you need them, there they are. Okay. Anyone have any other questions? SHX, my friends. Going once.
So you're saying take profits now? No. Take some profits? No? Okay.
Man, I'm taking a new vitamin. Thing was like the elephant. I cracked it in half and it still got stuck in my throat. Okay. No, I'd be looking to risk it for the biscuit. Just like I said on Saturday, I'm looking for them to push through the resistances. So this would probably be no exception. I'm still going to be looking to push a little bit higher. If I still can't see IM, I would exit. If I'm looking for something more interesting, I'd probably be looking for throughout the program. We're going to see something else. Okay. Resistance, bullish, but very close to resistance. Now we're going to go to FOXY. Let's take a look at FOXY. Any other questions? SHX, by the way. Did I miss any other questions?
Got in what would be a good entry? I am so sorry. Good morning to you.
For SHX, good morning, Triple J.
Yes, sir.
I would want to pay above 36 and above 0.04. So 0.036 and above 0.04. Where I'm moving the mouse right now, that's where I'd probably be looking to get to. Although, there's something I didn't draw here. Yeah, because that resistance is coming up soon, I probably wouldn't take this entry that's about right here, because there's very little wealth on here. I would be looking for the one above 0.36. And is this that's a DP, right? That's got to be a DP. Already hit. Yep. So I'm gonna, if I was you, then I'm gonna be looking at above there. Okay. Any other questions?
How far back this chart goes?
This goes back to September of 2022.
All right. Thanks.
You're welcome. Come. Let's go. FOXY. It looks like this is a crypto on. I got it on KuCoin. Looks like we've done it before. Let's see what I got here. The three main things to look for in the future. Active accumulation. I do not see active accumulation. However, I do see pushing volume into health. This could be a bullish maneuver by the strong existing holders. This means we do not necessarily have new holders coming in. However, due to selling already revealed, We want to make sure to look for areas to take profit. Okay. In addition, we want... Oh, I was using this as a lesson. We want to observe what the selling volume will look like when prices reach 0.012. Okay, so we hit 0.12. We want to look to see the volume there. If there's push, prices will naturally move up. Okay, we didn't get a good... So it looks like that didn't happen. So if there was pushing, so that's great. So we're still bearish. If there's a push, national prices move over. I'll be looking for resistance at 0.028 or 0.015. Our 0.015 number was right here. That's where our resistance was. Quite nice. If there's ultra high volume without a push, the blue flat above 12, that means price would be getting swamped. Okay. So our only high volume was underneath still that resistance, and right there on this high volume bar on back in November 11th, 2024. So even though this is an older crypto we were looking at, we can see that there's profit taking here, and the move was down into health. So this was, what was this, a long time ago. So we're gonna say this was 2020, sometime in 2024. Or early 2025. No, had to be 2024. Come. So that was old. So now we can delete all of that, and you can see the high volume that was on that particular bar. We put a flag above, and there's your weakness there. So we're going to be looking at this a bit negative. If we're going to see any more high volume, we want to see it on that particular bar, indicating we're going down. And the reason we're mentioning this, I don't have a much strong volume here, but so that's not such a bad thing. Okay, but as an entry for a short, that probably wouldn't have been my cup of tea. Now we want to see if we're on our way down, have the big players started entering? If not, I want to leave it alone. I don't want just health. So we want high volume on the down move before the health comes in. So that means that here we want to see some health coming in. Here we want to see some health coming in, and we don't see it, at least with this shape on this one. And we don't see, I just have only one, but the wick is up high getting squashed down. I don't really like that shape on that type. I like to see at least the wick on the other side, or the bar to look a little bit neutral. But this bar right there is not really looking friendly to me. And even the bar itself, it'd be nice to have some pushing volume on that side. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case right here. So that's just where some buying's coming in. Is it enough buying to make me want to really want this crypto? No, not in my opinion. The high volume we see is on the up move. This could indicate some further selling that's happening, some profit taking that's going on in that section right there. So I'm going to say to myself, there's still a lot of sellers coming in. I want a strong entry. So yes, maybe there's some money starting to come in the year of June. Some money coming in. The push in July, I don't think it's a strong push. I'm going to clear all my annotation, clear this chart, and we're going to start and show you the bigger health. So number one here, number two here. So that's that health that we just showed you on. That could be push, but without a strong accumulation, I'm not so interested. One thing I do see here that does make me a little bit interested is consistent volume. So that's something very interesting. When you see consistent volume, sometimes it's almost a mechanical type of hidden accumulation, but I don't have enough experience with that right now to give you a good saying, yeah, that's the case, that's the case. Our resistance is here. This one does seem to have resistance on the underside, so this could be viewed as a health. However, I don't know if the DP was hit, so I don't know how much weight I'm going to put on this to the bottom side, but we'll take a look. It looks like it is. Okay, so basically this duplication should give us here, and we're not there yet. So I'm going to say that we haven't really fully hit a proper bottom to put so much weight on the upper number of here, right there, 009. So getting me above these prices, like above 10 and 9, oops, sorry. Yeah, getting me above these prices, it's like building a construction floor. Do you feel secure on this top? I don't, not yet. Okay. For this, I'm going to leave this alone for right now. Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone for right now. Let me look at now the RSI. Nothing of note except for the pullback is indicating that RSI should reset. Here, from here to here, RSI is the one that should be moving up. And then if we move up too fast and we get to resistance here, this RSI will be about right here, about 100%, because it's on its way to 100% pullback, and price will be about 70%, so that should give us a good momentum to the downside. So even if I was bullish, I'd only want to be bullish to about right there. All right, with that said, let's look a little bit at the target system for FOXY, see where we might be sitting at. Sitting on top of a target, that's a good thing for this. And the other one, resistance, and there's going to be our big resistance up here. So I'm going to be using those areas, and one more just underneath. A lot of little resistances doesn't make this break very likely. Okay, so I'm going to say I'm not going to put too much weight on getting past this area. I would be more looking at it like a resistance. If I wanted to note that somehow, I can shrink that one and keep this one big, although that's not always something I do, just to remind me I'm more bearish. Okay. Any other questions? FOXY going once. FOXY going twice. It's probably going to move up right now with the markets being bullish, but I'm going to be a little bit neutral on that. Okay. All right, let's move on. The next one I have is Volt, one you guys like. Okay. VOLT. KuCoin. All right, let's see how Volt's doing. Gain a 0, lose a 0 back in July from Triple J. Certainly has gained a 0. This is a negative spot for me, I believe, for this. I did a previous DP projection, so this area underneath this block is a weakness. Okay, so this is not so good of a place for this to be. There's our health did no bounce, so that this is therefore we're going to be looking at this as a negative area. I have a target based on target system, it looks like, or some kind of target here. It's not, doesn't seem to be the colors of target system, but it's still a target. I wonder why I have this target. I wish I put more commentary. I'll give you a price for that. Looks like 7E, so 7099. So we're looking somewhere there. So this last area I gave you guys, telling us we're looking at this to be a bit bearish, and that seems to be the case. Yeah, it's a DP projection here of some kind. I had an alert created, so I'm not going to be bullish Volt right now. Okay. This is a weakness area. This is where I'm looking for this to come down. Okay. Possibly here. We'll keep looking and confirm this. All right, this is where we're going to start clearing up our chart a bit, since we got most of what we need to. Big vortex back in May, that was another area of weakness that we were looking for. Price moving underneath here was right about March 31st was the first signs that the floor is not going to hold, and then we came back down in the area in May of this year. So March of 2025 and May of 2025, letting us both know that's going to happen. Now this is something good though. I'll tell you something good is happening. Yeah, it's something good, but we're going to still need some health. This has got time to take. Let me first get another picture. MA first weakness. Previous main weakness, I should say. First weakness. I want you guys to see sometimes examples of this over and over, so you guys get a good idea of what you're looking at while you're looking at it, to give you an edge. It's like a moving object. It's like a fight going on. And you're gonna get a good feel for it, for those weaknesses entering in many times. Okay, so let's clear this and give ourselves a good idea of what's going on. What I want to show you on this chart right now is this ramping up in volume on the down bar down move. Now this is the first signs of accumulation. Before you go out and start buying this, you just need to mark it on your chart. I don't think it's going to go up right now. But professional money is starting to come into this crypto. And that's the first signs of something good, right? Where's my arrow? Here. I'm looking for my arrow, my white up arrow. Oh, it's here. Okay, professional buying in this area. And I'm going to put this possible professional accumulation. Warning, no health to confirm yet. And even then we need some more. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at. I'll show you what I'm looking at. This ramping up in volume in this area is quite nice. That's what we need to indicate professional accumulation on the down move. The thing is, we need a health to really confirm it. I have a parabolic like this, but the whole area is still underneath a major resistance. So at the very most, I'd be stuck between a rock and a hard place. I don't want to mess with that. Okay, I'll let somebody. Most likely, you're going to see it challenge a few times, and then you're going to see who's going to win the accumulation game. Because remember, it's not enough that crypto is being accumulated. It is not enough. You have to win the supply game. You have to buy. You have to see them buying, and then you have to see them absorbing / controlling the supply. If they buy but they lose the supply, then even if they're buyers, they're going to lose. You're going to see lower prices. If you're seeing an increase in volume at those chunks of buying areas together, that means they're not absorbing the supply. You're going to see lower prices. If you see them absorb the supply and get to a no demand situation, which is ideal, in that general block called the volume zone block, that's where you want to see them winning. Then if you see that happen, you know that you're going to see higher prices because the accumulation is absorbing the supply. Just because I go to the buffet over and over doesn't mean I'm going to absorb all the food. Okay, even if I bring 10 fat guys, if they got a lot of food back there. Now, if I start running the restaurant out and the manager starts coming out noticing, you're like, man, when are these fat guys going to leave? When are they going to leave? They eat all my food. They eat all my food. And then you're going to see less and less food on the buffet. That means we're absorbing now. So we're always accumulating. Yeah, we're eating that food, but are we absorbing? That's the big difference. Understand? Okay. Anyway, that's usually for Wednesdays. I'm just letting you guys know. This is what we're doing right now. Okay, so this is starting to be accumulation, but don't celebrate yet. We're still in delay to weakness territory. Okay, so still delay or to weakness territory.
JSong, can I ask you a question on that?
Yes, my friend.
Sorry, I know it's not Wednesday.
It's okay.
But that's why I asked for it, because I saw that parabolic that you drew, looking above it, but I didn't have the pink line on there, so thank you for doing this, because I missed that. Where does that old DP, the dynamic positive pink line angle, come from?
This one that's flat?
Yeah, no, the
this
one above it. It's like the resistance, yeah.
It looks like it's an old one, so I'm not really sure, but let me see if I can find it. Maybe it's this right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so now remember, some of the numbers that are possibly here may act like support. Some of the numbers that are up at this target here, I don't know where I get this target from, but I've learned to trust myself and not just always delete stuff. Okay, so even if you sell accumulation, if there's higher volume the second time around, you're going to see often that you're losing the game. Okay, so look to see at challenges those volumes increase or where there's higher volume in those areas. In this case, here's 1, here's 2, and there's not really much accumulation in these areas here except for right there. There's some accumulation back there. And then we come down, low volume, that's great. When we challenge again a third time though, here in this area, right about here, we have still high volume. So you're going to see another challenge in that area, and it's up to them to, after that, you're going to see if it survives. The whole thing needs to be in health when it does. Every time it happens, every time you think you see buying, it needs to be in health. So if we were just measuring the larger health, we should be somewhere ideally there. And we weren't, and we haven't. So we're going to continue that line out into the future, and there we're going to go. And I think that's all I got really for you guys today regarding this. So we're going to start there, and then I'm going to show you one more resistance. Let's make this one here and that one. So we're going to use this last angle, and we're going to accelerate it downward, just like we would accelerate it upwards. Okay, just like we would do the same way when they start accelerating faster and faster. Okay, we got the base, then we're going to start going up, and then we start even going higher like that. That's the same thing that happens on the downside. So you start accelerating much faster. Okay, so I'll give you these resistance. I'll give you two different colors for this so you can gauge it. I'll give you the number 6017. The vortex now still about right there, about 18, sorry. And there it is. Anyone have any other questions for me regarding this crypto? Okay. Right now we're going to be looking to get to some of these lower areas. Here and here is very important. And then this will be a good important one. If you see it break above here, look for us to quickly hit that. Right now I'm very bearish. Or I'm not so very bearish, but I'm bearish. If this was a down market, you'd probably see Volt fall quick. All right, let's write that down. Let's go to the next one. Any other questions? Volt going once. Any more targets on the way down, says Josiah? Was that for that one? Did I miss your question? Yeah. Josiah, you're asking about Volt? Okay. The question is, any more targets on the way down? And you can't do target system on the way down when you're in the sky. You can do DPs, which we measured this projection here. I think the DP is going to be more at 55, 7 zeros, 55, which means you've still got another large percentage to fall. The percentage is closer to 177%. If you have a large Volt position, it's possible you may see very low prices. Come. The reason we can more confirm that is because the bottom is pretty flat. Okay, pretty flat before the weakness came in. And the top is matching that same angle. So it's going to be here and it's going to be here. And so when we see this top matching back here on the wick side, we're going to be thinking to ourselves more bearish. Okay, now this is possibly an extreme, so we can go to a higher time frame to try to see if this is a wick. But it's on a 2-week chart, it's still holding nice. You're probably going to see some bounces up and down. If you really wanted to be really conservative, you can try to get the meat of it, maybe right here, and then conserve that. And that can give you a little bit shallower number. I'm going to give this as just an alternate color just so you can see what I'm doing. Let's give it like this pink ice cream color. And then I'm going to duplicate the distance and give you a smaller target. But I don't think that target's going to hold, but it's probably where you're going to see some more buying coming in. We're going to take that distance, bring it down. I did this, by the way, with a crypto Lisa asked about the other day. And maybe it's going to be just underneath there. So that's maybe one more target you might want to get to. Let's bring that number 7078. So a little higher than 55. It's a DP. Conservative DP. All right.
Can I say something? I don't know if you guys remember way back when the Lord said he was going to gain 0. And he also said that he gave me a vision of Volt getting like a deep breath and then just let it all out. Don't lose hope because it's going to move. It's just all in the Lord's time. Look at Wicked Cat. Look at BNB Tiger. Don't lose heart. It's all in the time of the Lord. So buy low, sell high. Not financial advice. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Anyone else? I want to show you some image real quick regarding a screenshot I took over the weekend. This is a crypto we looked at just this past weekend called Edge. Lisa, did you take a look at Edge? Is Lisa here?
Yes.
I don't know if it's above here right now, but on the weekend I saw that we hit our target.
I know.
The one.
I was driving a U-Haul truck and I missed it.
Oh, did you?
I should have said I never manually do it, so I missed it. But I did take profits a little lower, so I'm hoping it goes back up because I still have half.
You got a chance, especially in this season. Lisa asked me, the question was, do we have an exit for this crypto Edge? And she was looking to see if she can get out of that crypto. And and I said to her, hold on just a little longer till we get to there, because we can take the larger wicks, the wick match, and this is one of the principles in our art. And so when we are being let me click on this image so you guys can see it. When we're being conservative, we're taking the meat. When we're being more liberal, we're taking the wicks. So you can see these wicks sticking up here, but they all match in this general area here. So if you take that distance and you measure that distance and place it on top of this place right there, the top, then it's going to give me a top that's going to be somewhere up here in the sky. So we took that distance, and that's going to give us more of a liberal type of resistance and possibly a target. Okay, so even though it's not target system per se, what we call target system, the DPs act a lot like target, and this is the DP projection or duplication projection or the duplicate projection. And so that gave us another 52% on our money if we were looking for a more viable place where we're going to see that resistance. And that's where we saw it for that day, as opposed to only just having the conservative target like here. Okay, so that's the conservative only. But if you're already above there and you're like, oh, well, price is still going a little bit higher, or it's possible to look for the next resistance, that's where you want to start using that technique. Okay? Especially if you see it like the wicks are matching exactly. Use the wick match. First, start with the core, then bring that same angle to the wick side. If you see it match, use it like a range. All right, the next one's Empire. Now, this token is called Empire Token. I got a request from it in our Patreon, and the request says this. Hey JSong, hope you're well. May I ask you to look at a coin called Empire, please? The coin Gecko, coin Empire Token. This is a coin Robin Cunningham mentioned a few years ago. He said that, if I remember correctly, this coin will make it to Coinbase and hit $1. But later he said that the creator of the coin refused to accept Jesus Christ as a Lord. Therefore, this coin won't be successful, or something like that. I still have this coin in my bag, and I've noticed higher volume on this coin in the last few months. Hopefully someone is accumulating and not dumping. I think Robin said that there'll be 2 or 3 versions of this coin will come out. Not 100% sure about that one. And thank you from this message sent from Jay. Okay, so thank you, Jay. We're going to take a look at your Empire Token coin. I've heard Robin say similar things over the years about certain coins, that the projects often depend on the relationship with the creator and the Lord for some of these newer projects. And I believe it. So let's take a look at your coin. We will look at it on CoinGecko. So here's Empire. We'll take a screenshot. Total supply looks like $1 billion. Let's pull up now our chart. We'll pull this in candlesticks. Okay. Pull the price, candlesticks. We're going to turn on logarithmic. Then we're going to turn on the max, which is the maximum time this coin has existed. And we get a chart that looks something like this. Let's expand the data. The volume is going to be at the bottom. I'm going to take a few images just to map this out. If you have health in a crypto, you want to look at your foundational area. In this case, the foundational area, I believe, will maybe something like this, which would indicate some health coming into that crypto about right there. Okay. The last thing that you need to do before a breakout to see where the next resistance is to calculate your event line. In this case, the event line would have been something like here. And normally that would have been a bullish area, provided you can get above your next resistance. And you couldn't. So we're gonna keep now to keep an eye on this crypto's weakness. Continuing that area, this is where the last hope would have been, here and here. Weakness obviously ensued. Come. So this is a very poor example of health. Another way we could have read this is not just the last event, but the next event after that, which would have been this angle. And that angle would have given us our next resistances somewhere in these areas. So a lot to overcome in this area, a lot to overcome. And it doesn't look like we had the energy to hold above those areas. Let's now look at our flats. We're going to need to pay attention to flats. And the flats are going to be very telling. This is a very telling area. If this crypto is not ready, that's a big weakness. Just this was a weakness. So that would have been weakness 1 and then weakness number 2. The next health has to come in above these areas, and that's a good thing. Is it enough to change the direction of the trend? Let's do this part again. Our next event line. Messy, the DP here. Okay, now we're going to track some new angles, and weakness ensues. We'll check the flat, and basically that's all we need to do for this part. Here's your next weakness. So right now price has a chance to do something in these seasons. Since we have new tops we can use, let's use them. And we have now we have something that looks like this. The angles are coming up, coming flat. So that's going to be a good thing for this crypto. If I'm looking at it, that's going to be what I want to see. This has taken years to develop. This is back in 2021, and it's starting to develop some health. So let's now draw those angles, and we're going to use the last tops here. And this one we got a confirmation on, so this is a good. So this is going to be some of my final thoughts and conclusions on this crypto. I'm going to say we need to be above there, okay? And I'm using this area, I'm using this area, and I'm using this area right there, and this area. So 4 tops as the angles starting to get to one of this type of angles right there. This angle is giving us a nice verification. You can see that we're not going down so sharp anymore. We're starting to nice and come into those healths, which take a long time because you'll see price do things like that. But overall, we'll get to this moment when you can start actually having some momentum. Now, when this happens, you need to have buying in the background, especially at some of the lower areas where you were coming down. Okay, so if we were coming down, we want to see that volume ramping up in those areas. So this is something we're going to look at, but right now, the next health isn't here. It's almost here, and you're pretty darn close to the price. So right now, here's zeros, 3 zeros, 1, and 3 zeros, 2. So if we can be about right here, this is where we have a chance. Are we going to get the chance in this time and in this season? It's very possible. I like where this is. I don't exactly like just where price is just yet. If the weakness ensues and price builds, then we can fall further. So I don't really trust it just yet, but those are going to be the 2 areas that I do want to take a look at this seriously. Okay, does everybody got that so far? I'll
say
this.
Something about this coin.
Yeah.
This coin, you're looking at the candles, but it's considered a dead coin. There's no liquidity. There's, I think, 18,000 trading in a day, but if you would try to sell you would lose. There would be so much slippage if you even could sell. I think it's considered a dead coin at this point.
Could be.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
Can
go.
I say something?
Go ahead.
Just confirming what I heard from the Lord. I heard that it was dead.
Okay. Why is there only this many candles? Okay. I don't know how to get more candles on this thing. Okay. Oh, I know how to. Okay, so I don't have a really way to look at volume like I wanted to. I really wanted to look at that volume to confirm that. And thank you, Triple J. Thank you, Lisa. Without that, I don't know. I would probably trust Prophet Robin's word on that one. Okay. If you see the next weakness in there, you're probably going to be confirmed. If you see a health without reading the volume, it may not be so good to stand on that. I think that's the volume down here. There we go. And when I'm looking at the volume, I'm going to highlight where it's at. Here, there, here, just like little sporadic movements right there and there. It's really hard to see, but I'm showing you. And I'm going to show you what this means right now, by the way, too. And just some volume in this. Okay, so this volume on this type of bar into the weakness, not good. Selling, shakeout type volume. This volume right here, even if it was buying, it's into the weakness for a while. So what good is that volume? And it's just here and there. Then we have a high volume on this up bar. Okay, we come right back down. Why on the up bar? It's profit taking. Okay, these are these people getting out. And then finally this one right here, an up bar, we come right back down. I'm thinking there's selling going on here. I'm thinking this is just, I'm thinking to myself, this is still just people who lost money on the project getting out as best they can. I would say, I would agree with Prophet Robin. I would agree with Lisa and Triple J. I'm going to say this is very likely dead. There's no accumulation that I see. Okay. If I saw some professional accumulation, it's great, but okay, likely dead. And I'll show you my last image, and then this is how you can confirm more of that weakness. It's going to be this one here. Okay, so remember, you're looking for move underneath approximately those prices, and to gain a zero, possibly going to be gaining a zero soup, since that's zero. That's as a number one. So you're probably going to gain a zero and then be looking for it to go down even further. And I don't really understand this, why that volume, it looks different, but it's probably the logarithmic volume, which I don't trust. Okay. Oh, now we're going to move on. We're going to go to bio. I saw this crypto called bio while everyone was chatting, and so I'll just show you what I see. Large parabolic, smaller parabolic showing a first sign of health, and then the larger parabolic giving us that resistance where we should approximately, and this is a breakthrough in health. Ideally, we want to see this on high volume into this area on purpose. That'd be a nice thing. Bio, nice. We beat our straights into health here. Then we have a flat going in, so that means that's our vent line is a flat. So we want to duplicate that flat, place it on the top. In between those energy centers, that should be where the resistance is. And there we only resisting here slightly, and then we get the nice bounce. That's a perfect bounce on top of that. So this is where we want to have seen that. A lot of people won't know that's really where the health is at, but that's the health. So when we sat down on it, that's a very good thing. So therefore, I'm going to be bullish up to 0.094. Current price is 0.13, so 13 cents, and we're looking to get to, we're looking to get to 22 cents. Not 0.94, that's how many bars are in between. So we're going from 13 to 22 conservatively, possibly 23. And for this one, I want to probably be looking on the high side. Now, the reason I want to do on the high side is because when we have this large parabolic, 1, 2, 3 areas we have, okay, 1, 2, 3 large areas, we duplicate the angle, bring it to the lowest energy center in that area, which is right here. We can verify in the past that this is about the same angle as the larger parabolic. So therefore, the oscillation is here. All we have to do now is duplicate the distance between the upper grain and the lower grain and line them up. They just need to be straight up and down. And if we line them up, we get an angle about right here. So this is the DP projection of the parabolic, and you'll see that it overlaps with the DP of the flat. So now we have the duplication of this area telling us here's a resistance, and we also have the duplication of the parabolic telling us here is the resistance. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be looking at that like the resistance slash the health. So this is ideally where we're supposed to bounce on. If price bounces on there, I'm going to be looking to get some. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking to take profit in that area. If I'm already in this crypto, I want to get out right there, and I probably want to get back in if I'm building above there. So that's the area where I really want to be, and it's approximately at 22 to 23 cents. And because the parabolic slightly higher, in my opinion, I'm going to be probably looking for the higher side, which is 23.97. So 23.97 is about where I'm looking to get to. I also DP'd this oscillation here, and it gave me a resistance right now. So we're looking for another health above this. So if you're looking for an entry, you probably want to see if we get an entry later in the week, probably on the daily chart, and then take the remaining trade up to the top and make sure you get it out probably at the 23 side. All right. So that's how I'm going to be looking at this. So you want to take a screenshot right now, you can. Okay, I'll make sure I get out of your way. Bio, I'm bullish. Okay, good. Got it? All right. So bio, I'm bullish. Now, WikiCat closed against a resistance. I was looking at the resistance, and I got the image for you. So here's the image for WikiCat. This is what our chart we've been looking at for quite a while. We've had this as a resistance, and now we saw that we were almost there. That's where we want to kick over, or we want to stop. The weekly chart close was approximately above the angle, and I believe the angle is right. If at the very least it's maybe conservative, but we got to close above, so that's really nice. Now we want to stay above here for this week, and it's at 10 cents. Now this is basically a healthy close, which gives us more of an opportunity to get to our real resistance, which is here on this chart. It's 6049, but this is a Gate.io chart, so I believe that on the other charts it's 5 zeros. It's always like a zero off or whatever, but all you need to know is that WikiCat is still bullish approximately until we get to about right here on our Gate.io chart. So I'm looking for us to go from 10 to 49 and clear this area, because we got a nice good close. But on a weekly chart, we want to confirm more of this on a daily chart. Are we really sitting there nicely? It's based on the DP projection between this larger area here. So let's take a look at that so you guys can see it. Okay, so here's the WikiCat chart, and we measured this larger flat distance between here and here. Remember, this is a crypto that has professional accumulation. So ideally, as long as they're not really taking much profit at this area, we're looking for the buyers who came in here in large portions, and which they did, large ramping up in the volume. This is the type of volume I'm talking about. Plus the absorption of supply. There's very little volume on the down move here before that last one comes into health, and that was approximately about this angle right here on the day of February 25th, 2025. So we mentioned this crypto in September of last year, looking at this one, and then there's another health earlier in this year. And then the resistance, therefore, is going to be a flat. We had this multi-touch flat for you guys for a long time. We broke above that flat, sat down. You could see we wicked all the way to the bottom, but came right back up in the very same daily chart. And then we built above here for a few weeks, all the way back into August 9th. That health was broken right there on that bar. If you were to draw the trend line, just draw it, and then you can see there's your health. You see this is on a high volume date. This is on purpose. So you're going to see that this move right here, these moves is going to be on purpose, actually, this second bar. And when you see that, we're going to be looking to clear the rest of the territory. The angle is this angle, so the top angle is here. We got some verification in the past, by the way, right here. So WikiCat is looking to get to that number, and that's why we called that number specifically. I said look for that number, look for that area. And now as we look through, people were asking me, JSong, are we going to be able to beat it? Are we not just going to hit it? We were looking to hit it, we hit it. We were looking to now sit above here and break over in this area. And so I told Crypto Night the other day when we were chatting, I said to him, it's very likely, even though this is a resistance for WikiCat, that WikiCat's going to be able to break over because the markets are really bullish. The deep total 3, USDT.D is bearish, so that means cryptos are bullish. And then the BTC.D is going down, so altcoins are bullish. Total 3 is bullish. So so those three tell us that it's very likely your altcoins are going to continue to break through the resistances. So if listen to me carefully. If you guys are still not in a crypto or in some altcoins, you're looking for altcoins that are very near their entry. that are moving into health. One of those cryptos is something like Toshi, professional accumulation, low and near its entry. Something like Toshi is great. Something like WikiCat probably now is going to be better. I don't want to buy WikiCat when I'm here. There's too much risk. We can resist. But as it's looking, the weekly chart close is good. Daily chart bouncing on this line. It's looking good for me or more safer. Although I don't like to buy cryptos when they're in the sky. I generally like to buy cryptos when they're in a strong health. So generally WikiCat is not my cup of tea, okay? So health and health, okay, based on the flat. Those three are my ideal entries. Those three are my cup of tea. But if I'm trying to catch it, I don't want to just risk it so much here. I'd rather risk it here because remember, there can always be a shakeout and throw you off. But as it is, in this season, if I'm going to chase a crypto, WikiCat is not such a bad thing. Okay, if I'm going to try and chase it, it may not be such a bad thing over the next few weeks. There's still over 300% on the board from current prices. Okay, closer to 370% at least from this low, and you're sitting still there. So I want to get as close as I can to about that number, and I want to be able to clear at least conservatively that. So there's still some percentage. I don't want to throw so much at this crypto. You understand? I don't want to do that because I'm really gambling. I'm not getting as close to an entry if I wanted to, and I don't want to risk it so much. I'm really far away from these entries, and you guys are really far away. So once you start catching it, it starts going like this, and we start doing things like that. But as it is, it has some chance. So I'm gonna say to myself, I want to probably risk it for the biscuit, but I don't want to throw so much at this because I'm really far. I'm like catching a falling knife, and you got to be good and things like that. If I was setting low stop losses, I probably want to set my stop losses somewhere over here in this section. It's a very far, but that's the support. We never properly bounce on top of this support right here. If there's a big shakeout, you can be shaked out real easy in this crypto, okay? And still be bullish. Do you understand that? Look at just a few days ago. Somebody got their stops taken out even though we were still probably bullish. Okay. That's how that works. And I don't mean somebody, lots of traders. All right. Anyone else, other questions? WikiCat, my friends, WikiCat.
Yes. So how do we know what price that we're looking for? Because Gate.io is showing 49,
yep,
6 zeros, and you said the other chart's showing 5 zeros. So how do we know?
You can do one of two things. You can pull it up on another chart. I think on TradingView they only give me this one, but let's double check. Yep. Oh, here's one on crypto.com, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to DP this range, the flat. Okay? That's what we're going to do. We're going to DP that range. That's one way we can do it. Let's do that right now, and you guys can get a crypto.com price. Okay? Here, we'll do this. Okay? Here it is. I'll pull up on a weekly chart. And we're going to DP the flat. So we're going to I'm going to use the wick range for this one, approximately there. Duplicate it here, where they approximately match. It's about right here. And actually, I think I was conservative. I think I was being conservative for this one. Yeah, it's somewhere above the meaty part. That's where I was being conservative. So yeah, now we're going to take this, measure that one, duplicate it up about halfway, and this will give me a price in the sky. So this is about 30 here, 27, 6 zeros. It's the same zeros, right? 6 zeros, 29, 30 here, conservative. In the meaty part, I'll do now the highest one where the wicks match here. I'll give this a different color, and I'll do the same thing. And I'll get you both of these prices exactly, approximately. Okay. And there is your top there. Okay. So one of them's going to be around 60 to 53. 6 zeros, 60 to 53. The other is going to be 6 zeros, 0.30 to 26. So somewhere in between, it's at 49 from the other chart. This is a crypto.com chart. Does anybody have any other questions about my thoughts on here?
Jay, can I send you my chart and you can take a look at it?
Yep. And there's one other thing you guys can DP if this does really well, and it's probably this angle here. And I'm going to DP that, and I'm going to DP at where the wicks match. Ooh, I don't like that wicks match right there.
That's what my chart is showing.
I haven't even looked at your chart. Is that what you're looking at?
My chart is showing that we're closing below that line and not
Okay.
above it.
Ooh, that's a good note. Good catch. Okay. Here's some higher numbers, 15 with 5 zeros. And we're going to mark that as the DP. Okay. So let me mark these DPs, and I'm going to place them on the right side so you guys can have these numbers. Put them in the middle. DP at, okay, and here's another DP. And then here's the another DP. DP at DP. We'll just call this DP. Okay, so let's take a look at Michelle Firecracker. What she's showing is the text. Needs to be white. Come on now. There we go. Here, based on this area, this might be a little bit of a danger. You probably want to wait a little longer there. Good catch. We probably want to wait a little bit longer. On this chart, based on this angle here. So that's something good. The cores will give us a support based on that same exact angle. You're going to use the same exact angle from the bottom and give yourself a core, and I'll give you another support. Okay, so based on this, you're probably going to find a support a little bit further down there. Okay, so let's get you that number, and we'll look at these two images for you wiki catters. 7069. Come. So use this, and that's going to put some more caution. So again, if we're trying to catch a falling knife, we want to use more caution than we would, because you don't got a lot of safety nets. They start getting farther and farther away.
So that one line there is the current price where it stopped right there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's probably where we're going to see our, if we get a pullback here, we'll probably see prices sit or rest or pull back to that area. Otherwise, we'll see this move there.
Can you put that price there on that, where that red dot is? Where it's at now?
Where's that right now? Where the resistance is right now?
Yeah, because
Yep.
yeah.
So
All right,
it's a
perfect. Thank
dynamic positive 1155. 60 is 1155.
All right, perfect.
Get you above there. That's gonna get you. That's gonna clear you the bulk of the wick match. Otherwise, this is gonna be the core. So truthfully, it should be that should be dotted, and that should be something like a solid or another color. But yeah, something like that. Okay. I'm almost done. I still think we're going to be able to get to the larger DP projection of this area up here. And time will tell if we're going to be able to get to the real high ones. That'd be amazing if you guys can. I hope you do really well. Hope you do well. May the Lord bless you if you're trading WikiCap. Okay. This one already has a lot of professional accumulation. So a lot of what already needs to happen has already happened in those back moves, and you get it. Okay. Oh, I was going to check. Remember, if the professionals are in, we want to make sure that they are not out. So I don't want to see super high excessive volume just underneath the resistance. If there is, let me pull back my other wiki chart on Gate.io. Okay. This one's showing it approximately here. I don't want to see super high volume on that individual area, and I don't see it, at least comparatively to all of this. Do you guys see that? Now it is high. Let's see, but where's the high bar? It's only right here, not this super high one. So that's indication that there may not be so much profit taking but more helping it push, or at least not as much resistance. I think there's a lot of people not willing to part with it here, and that's a good thing for higher prices right now. Lack of supply flooding, and that's going to be a good thing. Okay, so I'm still going to be a little bit bullish into the week based on the opportunity. All right, anyone else, my friends? WikiCat going once.
I do. I have a question. Why is there a difference? You have one chart showing that we could potentially go down, and the other chart is showing that we're in hell.
Let me adjust this. Let me go to a weekly chart. Was I looking at a weekly chart on the other one? On the Gate.io one?
I don't remember.
Crypto.com.
I thought so.
Okay, let's go to a weekly chart on that one. And let me check the angle. Is the angle wrong? Core. This needs to come down. Core. That's right. No wick match. At least on that side. Core. Yeah, that angle changed things a lot, didn't it? Yep, that's my error. Okay. Is it really a resistance? Let's check. And the wick match here is support. So yeah, either way I have support. I'm looking at this like a support, Firecracker. Did you check yours?
I will.
Double check yours.
Okay.
Which,
Thank you.
which chart is this one that you just had there?
This is the one I just had that I thought initially. I just took her word at it and I was like, oh, but I should have double checked it myself.
All right. So this is crypto.com?
Yes. So they both do look the same.
Okay.
And that's not such a bad thing here. Then I'm still going to be bullish either way. And I'll delete the other image so you guys are not confused. Please also update your image. This is me being accurate. And then you're going to say, JSong, what about when you're not being accurate? Double check my word. Too. Dude, what is the theme for the day? Take it to the Lord in prayer. I'm saying double check my double check my angles. I mess up. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at this as a bullish area. Okay. All right. Anyone have any other questions for me right now? Okay.
I'm not sure how far back your chart goes, but it does go back to 2022, maybe? I'm not sure if that would give you more information, but on Coin Paprika, I took a screenshot and I put it in the chat. I'm not sure if that gives you like more things or...
I have my chart on Dex Tools.
I've looked at this before, but I don't think there was anything that I really missed when it came to this chart. When it came to the other data. Let's see, 2022 you said? Yeah. Yeah, that was the data I didn't really use this one too much, that data back here. A lot of that looked like there was profit taking here in that area. So if there was any accumulation in this smaller area down here, way before it's done anything over the past few years, I think that most of that data, because of that volume that happened here in these areas, I think there was a lot of profit taking. There's probably going to be some bullish holders in this thing that are more long-term traders, and I would hope that would be the case. But I'm going to say to myself that is not as important since there's such a big disconnect from this area to this area. And I'm sure there's going to be some trend lines and stuff like that may give us some resistances. Let's see if we can spot out anything that really stands out.
You see that candle where it really moved up? What if we did a candle like that?
You probably will. Let me take a look at a DP here. Okay, and I'm going to do a unique kind. We're going to do a mid-phantom transformation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to track this angle and duplicate that angle. Okay, top and bottom.
What chart is this? What chart is this?
This is on Coin Paprika. Okay.
All right.
I'm going to take that angle. I'm going to take the bottom. Okay, and then we're going to DP the distance. So this is basically our MP. Duplicated. We're just going to simply take the distance, move the distance on top, and then we're going to duplicate that angle. And it should give us still some room in the sky. And this is what I will see after that. Okay, so if I place it about where it is, I already hit that target. Okay, so we already hit there once, right here. Okay. And again. And a third time. So as long as the volume is not as high on this bar right there and this bar right there, I think this is approximately that one and that one, these two. Actually, it needs to be higher since we're moving upside. Yes, that's right. Okay, remember, let me take you guys just a second. Bear with me just one moment. For you WikiCats, this is really important. On Wednesdays, I teach you about the accumulation that happens, and we measure those accumulation zones together to each other. If there's, say, buyers coming in and buying at those accumulated zones, we need to see something called absorption/control. Okay? When there's an increase in volume, or equal to volume, or a still aggregately high, those are the three symbols we use, then we know that the supply has not been absorbed. This is a quick tutorial from what we do on Wednesdays. If, however, we see that the supply has been absorbed, then we're going to see that those general buying areas are getting weaker and weaker. So we read the relationship between 1 and 2. In those cases, we see a decrease in volume, or we see volume which has no demand, or what we know as aggregately low. Okay, so overall it's still low. In those cases, we see that the supply, sorry, Wayne's World? In those cases, we see that the supply has been absorbed. So in one scenario, the supply is absorbed. In the other scenario, the supply has not been absorbed. So basically, if there's buyers, one tells us the buyers are winning. And if there's buyers and another, they tell us the buyers are losing. So one tells us they're winning and one tells us they're losing. This one is a losing scenario. This one is a winning scenario. Okay, this one it has been absorbed / controlled. So one of the things we like to see is not just with buying, but also with selling. If they're selling along a particular trend line, one of the ways to see if the sellers are losing, so say there's selling going on here and selling going on here. The moves into weakness, maybe if there was a general weakness trend line, I don't really have one here, but this would have been the resistance. So if there's high volume there, generally we should be going down if it's just underneath. And this one would say, okay, yeah, there's some selling here. Then the next time there's going to be selling here. Okay, generally that's going in the right direction. But when we challenge her again, now there's even higher volume than the first, or if not equal to. And this one's a little bit higher. In this particular scenario, the sellers, even if there is selling, they're losing. Do you see? It's going to fall under this scenario because the volume at those relationships is increasing. In this case, I'm reading area 1, 2, and 3. So in this case, I'm going to be more inclined to say, even if there's high volume, they're losing. Too many traders are willing to pay higher prices. So the odds of us going through start increasing more higher in this. So yes, maybe we're going to see this as a type of resistance, but seeing the volume game telling us maybe we're going to see a breakthrough because the market is demanding too much higher prices. Too much supply is being flooded along this line. Now this is advanced, and because I only up until this moment teach volume flat. I haven't taught it along trend lines. More verification needs to be done. But in the future, I want to get to that area where we start doing that kind. It's a more advanced type of volume analysis. That's why I've been trying to teach it in basic 2 simple lessons, or 2 different scenarios. Winning the game and losing the game. All right, that's generally for Wednesdays. But as it is, I'm going to say even if they're selling here, it's likely you're going to see the sellers lose. Okay, and I'll write this down. Sellers likely to lose. Okay, so we're going to most likely see higher prices based on what we're seeing with this so far. Okay, I think that's all I really want to say right now with this. So I'm not going to put too much weight on this resistance, but if you're cautious and optimistic, praise God, you really probably shouldn't be buying here. You should probably be buying here. Okay, if you're gonna buy based on this line. But that's a little advanced, and praise God that we see that. I don't want to risk it for the biscuit here, but we're probably going to win. I'm not going to enter WikiCat here. That's for sure. Okay. This is decisions. But on the daily chart, looking good. With this 2022 data, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious. Any other questions, my thoughts, my opinions, we can cover more of that topic on Wednesdays, which we always do.
So the crypto.com chart is still okay, and so is the other chart.
Yep.
The gate.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the other charts are still on the up and up. If you guys see a large, quick wick, like within just a few days, be real careful if we come back down and it's like a wick, because then that means that this last one is holding. Okay. But as it is, I think you're going to crack it. I think you're going to crack it. I just don't want to buy it not without cracking first. Okay. But as it is, it's looking on the up and up. I think some of these targets are going to get hit. Or
what did you say about the wick going up and the wick coming back down? I lost you there.
What I mean is, if price goes up really fast and hits the targets and comes right back down, like maybe Edge or something like that, the crypto, then we're going to see that this line is still holding. This is a weekly chart. You can see it'll look like a LUNC spike, but still showing here. And then that on high volume would be scary because we're closing now near the middles or near the lows. And that might be a sign that this is still holding. Okay. If, however, during the end of the week, I'm just anywhere above here, I'm going to feel a lot more warm and fuzzy for this, since we're right here on the weekly chart. And that this DP is probably why we're stopping just right here. So we still need to clear this battle. And thank you for Lisa for reminding me to look at this chart, because it matches this top and this top match. You see, that's the exact distance. So therefore, this is a hidden trend line, and we found it here. Let's beat that game, and we'll see what happens. Your job's just to wait. Okay, most likely. Okay, all right, everybody got it? All right, I'm gonna write this down. Resistance close, hidden resistance chart, but I'm optimistic. Okay. Okay, hidden resistance chart, but I'm optimistic. Oops. All right, going once, last questions. Going twice.
Oh,
Yeah?
you sound like an auctioneer.
Oh, yeah, I know, right?
Oh, what? Go ahead.
I was listening to a pastor last night. He said that Pastor Keith called him and said, we need to pray for Sir Mappy, who made this WikiCat, and just to pray for him because there's a lot in this, like spiritual warfare in Africa. There's a lot of what goes on. Like they're coming against him, witches and stuff.
Okay.
And the word was that I guess it was defeated and it's moved to another zip code, like to the United States, or I don't know, like they've been praying for him. So I think we should probably pray for him. And the word is that Sir Mappy has favor from God.
Okay. Good.
And remember, Sister Sharon, she said that she had this furry animal and she was giving it a bath, and she had set it down, and then, I don't underwater. And then she picked it up, and she said, it looks like you're getting baptized. So that was a clue to me, because I remember that. Then she was putting it back down to give it another dunk, and like you're washing something, and picked it back up. So it was like a hidden words there that she was saying about being baptized. So that would probably point to the CEO of WikiCat, probably, is what I picked up.
Okay.
Yes, and Sister Sharon said the word was that the Lord gave her is when WikiCat takes off, we're going to know that's when alt season starts.
Correct.
So, yeah.
And then that wasn't a dream. That part, she said, the Lord told me. Flat out, she said, the Lord told me that when WikiCat goes, it's a sign that the alts is what she said. Yeah. So that wasn't like a dream at that point. That was, she said, this is the word from the Lord. So she made that clear. Correct.
I put a lot of weight on what Sister Sharon says, since she prophesied about me way before I was even, right when I started. I think it was like my first week or the first year of at the beginning of the first year of me doing videos. I had a dream where an angel asked about her, and she had a dream or a vision or something where the Lord told her something about me, something that JSong said. I think it was about XRP or something like that a long time ago. And that was many years ago, I think 3 years ago. So since that date, I still never met her. I hope to meet her one day and give her a blessing. I hope that she would receive me well. But I was like, wow, she saw my video or whatever. Who am I? So I feel honored. I like that woman.
And I didn't know that, but apparently she was battling cancer back about 4 or 5 months ago.
Oh, wow.
She she came on and was talking about that she didn't want to say nothing when she was going through all this stuff. So that was one of these things where, because I noticed that when she just came back on, I haven't seen her in a while, she looked like she lost a lot of weight. But she talked about her battle with the cancer thing, and it's kind of a long story, but maybe somebody else knows that. But yeah, so pretty powerful testimony.
Pray for her. The enemy does not want her around because she's a powerful vessel for the Lord.
Yep,
But she was fighting breast cancer, and there's one other one. And they were stage 4. I think that's what she said in her video. But just pray.
Yeah. And the authorities tried to get her trapped in there because they wanted to either take off her breast or whatever, or chemo, whatever, and she escaped out of there. You know? And I think she said that the Lord did tell her that. She said, Lord, I want to be healed now. Lord, I want to. And the Lord said something like, not yet, or something like that, whatever it was. It's like, because we all went, now, Lord, heal me now. But so he's going to heal her, something like that. He was going to heal her, but she wanted it now. And this is back a while. And so it's probably a process that Lord's going to take her through. But however, we all know how the Lord does when he takes you through stuff. It's not always fun, but it's for your best being. Anyway.
Good. Okay, I'm gonna go over GALA. And yeah, pray for the projects. For there's a real great tie to with the founders, the projects that they're releasing. It'd be the same if you release the project and God is blessing your project, which I just heard in the book of Jasher. During the time of Joseph, God was blessing the projects, not just the fields of grain, but the actual investments, lots of things like that. And I thought that was really interesting, that when God's blessing starts falling on the land, it falls on the land. And it's true, WikiCat seemed to take off first. Now, I want to say one thing. I think there's a lot of people that trust what I'm saying and what I do and what I say. But there's going to be a time, I want you guys to pray against greed. Okay? I really want you to just start ramping up all throughout the season. Pray against greed. If altcoins are taking off and we're seeing the WikiCats do good, we're going to see XDB do good. I really like that project. I think it's going to do well. I think in many projects, Toshi is going to do great. A lot of cryptos are going to do great. You're going to see some cryptos pop off time. There's going to be a moment I'm going to make a certain move. And when I make that move, and I tell you what move it is, and it might be an unexpected move for some of you guys, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm still fasting and pray. But when that time comes, I want you to pray about the move as well. And I want you to, and I'm going to announce it, and I'm probably going to announce it publicly, what move I'm going to do regarding trading stuff, what I'm just personally doing, okay? When I do this move, I know prophetically that this is going to be met with not as much enthusiasm or interest. There's going to be a lot of people who are not going to be excited about this move and not be like, why are you doing that right now? But I'm telling you, I'm going to be fasting and praying for more confirmation about this move. Already I'm receiving some information that this is the move I'm going to make, and confirmation that this is going to be the move I'm going to make. But when I announce it, it's not going to be met with much popularity. I will let you know when it's time. You're going to see it's like a drastic move. I won't say what it is, but you guys will just keep me in prayer about when I do this certain thing, because it's not going to be popular when I do it regarding how I trade or what I'm doing with some of these seed money. I believe we're definitely in a seed money season based on all the data we looked at, USDT.D and everything. But when I make that move, just know that I want you to be prayed, and if you're prayed up and you're not led by the spirit of greed, you may have more confirmation or lack of confirmation about what I'm doing, and some of you guys are going to probably end up doing the same thing I'm doing. But I just want you guys to be aware that there's going to be an upcoming move in the future, and it may not be so far into the future. It may be just a few months out. So I just want to let you guys know that. All right?
So
okay.
Do you want us to pray now for we'll call it the JSong move or something like that?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So I'll call it the JSong move. Is that what we want to call it?
Yeah.
The JSong shaking and baking?
Yeah, and you guys will see it public. You'll probably see it public, but
Okay.
I already have some information that it was not popular when I did it. But we already had some wealth, and the only thing I can see the reason why it wasn't popular when I made this move in the future was because there was greed in the hearts of men. People wanted the up move to continue. Just like if it was a down market, when there's sickness in the market, it's hard for people to believe that a project can change. It's very hard for people to believe when a project will end or when it's time for its naturally to come to the campaign to come to a pause. If a crypto moves up for a while and it's making people a lot of money, it's going to be hard for them to even think about exits because they start becoming overlaid with the spirit of elation, which is like the happiness. And that's okay to be happy when your crypto goes up. But there comes a point when we start being blind because it's, I can never lose. We start thinking we're invincible. And there's going to be something else that's happening behind the scenes. And when the time comes, God willing, I'm going to do that move. And I want you guys to just know that's what I'm doing. And you may want to pray because it may be time for the same. But when I say it, people are going to be like, no, imagine if I just said it right now. And I said, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to move my wealth into this specific thing. Some of you guys are going to be like, no, I'm not going to do that right now. The altcoins are moving. If you feel that now, it's because altcoins are moving. But you also it's just difficult to even imagine that. Now imagine if you've already made like 1,000x on certain coins or something. Some of these projects are doing really well, and you're going to do one after another. When I make the swift move, there's going to be a lot of people not ready. So I'm just letting you guys know now. I can't tell you what it is, but God willing, it will come out. Okay? All right.
Whenever you make that move, can you make a few announcements in case we missed it?
Yeah, you guys won't miss it. You'll have time. I think you'll have at least a month to respond.
Okay.
Okay, I got a private message. One moment. Yeah, talk to me this week about it, okay? I would love to hear that. All right, so let me write that down as JSong announcement. We've had a lot of stuff to talk about today. Extra large program today. JSong Prophetic move announcement. Preview, I should say. So here's GALA. On the monthly chart is where I think I found a lot of the stuff going on for the last few months we've been seeing. Personally, I'm still bearish this. I don't trust it. I don't trust the structures underneath this overall area. Yes, we got some wiggle room because of this flat here, but most of that has already been hit, approximately right where it should be or within here. So this is a type of support. You could say that maybe we should just need to extend the range. You could, but I think that already this stopping right here many times is a hint that these supports of 1 and 3 are hitting. 1, 2, 3. I think these are signs that we're not really as healthy as we should. We're still in the larger downtrend. We're making lower highs and we're making lower lows. Okay, you can, if you look really carefully, you'll see that this is a low, this is a low, and then this low is even lower than these two lows. So we're still in a downtrend. We do need health to really get out of this. And the healths that I see are here, all the way here. Now we do have targets in the sky, but I don't think it's time for them to get hit. This trend line is powerful. Okay, we got core, I got wick, and I got core. And the wicks match. I think they match. If I bring this to the higher wick here and I match it here, it's not really so much a match, but it's wide enough that I probably want to be a little cautious even if I get a break. So therefore I'm going to be still looking, which a few months ago back in July we were looking down here. Now we're going to move this out to about right here. We're going to update these dates. The price is still 007 where I'm thinking we're going to find a good support. And then the other health you need is above this area. So probably somewhere up in there. And I'll give you that number. It's approximately 0.2. So right now, we're still looking like Triple J's gain a 0, lose a 0 thing is happening back from June of 2024. So this is where we gain a 0 down here. And then if we lose a 0, we're probably going to bounce out of that area. I want to see some professional accumulation. I want to see a more proper accumulation on the down move. If I go to back to a weekly chart, if I'm being more like smaller time frames to confirm this, it ain't looking well for me. Okay, I shouldn't really be here. The smaller move from here to here, I'm underneath, so that would be weakness under here, weakness under here, weakness under the flat, and another weakness would be under this angle. So if I'm under that angle, things are really bad. But so far we're not. So I would say I'm looking for this to still be a bit lower. And the other things is the higher volume is only on the up bars into weakness. For example, House, if I have heavy volume up there, but the move was only down and into weakness, not good. Here's another one. High volume on the up bar. Professional selling happens on up bars, up moves, and uptrends. The move is down and into the weakness. So what the heck, right? What the heck? So we got to be really careful. This one has a high volume, but it's on here. Okay, so this one doesn't give me, it's almost straight up in the air. So I can't really track the weakness, but it's cautious. It's on an up bar and we went down for a while. So I'm going to say selling, 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 and the sellers are winning. We're not increasing at 0.1, 2, and 3. We're actually decreased. So the sellers are winning. Therefore, I would be looking for the flat to break. Okay, so I'm going to be looking for GALA to go down for a bit, and you can pick it up for dirt cheap. Now, luckily, you're still at an entry, so that's not so bad. So I'm going to say to that point, you're probably going to be able to walk away like a bandit with a lot of GALA at a cheap price in the future, probably not far from now. So if you're able to get it at 7, that's what I want to pay. That's what I'd want to pay here. And then I'll adjust your parabolic for that third area. And now because this is still off, if you're lucky, you'll get that 7 cents. Otherwise, you're going to build structure and only spike to that 7 cents area. Okay, 0.7. Okay, so I would probably say you're probably going to see it support at 0.08 and spike to 0.07 in that case. Okay. All right, if you're looking for another weakness, it's going to be below that line. Just draw one. All right, any other questions? How's my friend?
No, that's it.
Okay.
I just haven't been feeling it. I haven't been looking at the charts, but I'm like, I just feel to kind of get out of it, that it's not doing anything.
Okay.
Put my money somewhere safer.
Yep. And then just set an alert for yourself there. In fact, I'm going to set an alert for myself there because I like the project GALA and I want to see something. I want to see it do well. If it does, I want to be the first to remember to look at it. I love high volume on a down move. So here we see alert, support, hit, look for high volume down move. Okay, I want to see the volume ramping up on the way down, and then I want to see it move into health, and this will come down the track. Okay. I'm going to write this down as well. Alert created here. All right, any other questions, GALA, my friends? Okay, GALA going once, GALA going twice. We have a lot of prophetic information about GALA. I think it's going to do well. I think we're going to move it along the track and do well in the future. All right, let's move on to the next one. It's XDB. This is the big one. I talked about this on Saturday quite a bit. A resistance was hit on XDB. We were looking to get above higher. I'm actually looking to go a lot higher. So let's take a look at XDB. XBD. No, XDB. XDB. Dog boy. All right, there it is. Okay, so we already hit this resistance. It's quite nice. We had first drew our watch line when we were back here, and you guys know that we called where that health was at. It was here approximately. At that price, that was the best price to get to. Then we're looking at the flat. Based on the flat, it's a large flat forming, and the other flat is going to be placed here. So we hit here 1, 2, 3. If we're having increases at those volumes, generally that means the sellers are losing the battle. But also you need to keep in mind a large amount of buying on the down moves. Professional accumulation plus absorption tells us there's very little resistance that they're going to encounter because they have the bulk of the supply. But we have a volume here. It's approximately here. From here to here, the volume is higher on this area, so it's going to be here to here or equal to. And then the third challenge right now, this is where we want to be looking at the volume over the next 1, 2, 3 weeks. This is a weekly chart. So let's pay attention to the volume. If we keep seeing a ramping up in volume or even a pushing in volume just a little bit higher, I'm going to look at that as an increase from 1, 2, and 3. Therefore, the sellers will be losing. Not that I'm scared of the sellers much anyway, because again, we have more professional accumulation in here. By the way, where is my white arrows? There needs to be white arrows. I did this on Saturday. Don't think the video was public. It was for you guys, okay? Professional accumulation, remember that. And if you want more about this video, you need to see my Saturday video. This one, I'm very excited about. This project is relatively low. People who haven't got in at the last health, you need to know there's another health above 0.010. So when we clear this flat, that's going to be more likely we're going to do it. But be just aware of the spikes, because we spiked before above there. I just think that we're going to be able to get to our target, which is up here at 0044, and there's still, from current price up there, around 300% to go, 330% still to clear to that area. That's just, it's just massive. 300+% from here to, from this distance to this distance. And I think you guys are going to be able to get it because of the professional accumulation. I do not see professional accumulation on every crypto. I rarely see it on a crypto. This was a crypto that was once trading at 82 cents, and right now it's trading at 308. And as we came down after the fall, the professionals started getting back in. You guys see that? So I'm really excited about this crypto as long as it can stay in health, which is in health here. And that was the last big entry just right here in this area. So that's a nice big health that came in, and then a smaller health. I think this is going to be doing well, my friends. Okay, we'll look at and pay attention to the volume over this season. If I was to look at cryptos and say, hey, is the cryptos bullish? As I mentioned on my report on Saturday, USDT.D, BTC.D, total 3, they're all indicating bullishness for altcoins. Altcoin has a chance. John Lee says, are we going to touch on, oh sorry, that is your XDB question? Okay. Any other questions with XDB? Any other questions, my thoughts, my opinions on XDB?
Yeah, so you're like, you wouldn't be entering this until you actually got a confirmation above that blue line.
If I hadn't already got some, I already got some about here.
Yeah, I have 0.
If you're going to get some, I'd be at a, if you're buying right now, you're buying at a top. You'd be buying because the market is bullish. But I would want to pay, ideally I would want to pay a higher price just to get that comfort. Okay, I really want to be up here maybe 2 days, and if I can, I want to get some solid closes above here. We didn't close on the weekly chart above there, so it's really not ready to just yet here. If I'm looking to get a pullback on this, let's see, maybe the smaller sword cut, but that's already fulfilled, so we don't really need to do that. Let's see, where would be another support?
What about a flat?
Yeah.
Would there be anything like there?
The flats, prices are covering even just above those flats.
No, I mean that peak there across, because it
Yeah, if you're
right around there.
yeah, if you do get a pullback, probably above there, and because and I'm going to show you guys this. Just pay attention real quick. Let's give you.
I went a little higher, Jay.
I know.
It confirms
I
that.
haven't moved it yet. Hold on. I'm still just changing the color. Okay, so pay attention just real quick. I'm going to show you this. All right, watch. You see this flat right here? It's approximately here. We hit, the cores are higher. Even though we spiked all the way down to here, the cores are higher than the actual flat. So the price is a bit overperforming. So if we're going to take that and place it here, I would actually be expecting prices to not come all the way back to the flat, but rather maybe somewhere about right there. So if you get anywhere close to this flat, at a pullback, that's probably where you want to strike, okay, in my opinion. Just looking at the history of this particular crypto, okay? I probably want to strike before I get to the flat. Did everybody get that? Why did that, approximately? Okay. Here's the bulk of the flat. Core. The wick match is going to be approximately there. And we don't really get there, okay? We are just hovering above. Yes, we spike down here, but we're hovering above. So giving me that much distance approximately after this, I want to be striking a little bit higher. Okay, so don't wait for the flat to all the way come back down in this particular instance. That make sense?
What price is that?
Let's get you a price. 3076. 3076. Last parabolic was already the support. DP projection maybe also. Yeah, that's already been hit. So the support should be here. The resistance should be there. Yep, that's going to more confirm what we're looking at. Somewhere down in this range, okay? So 7671. Yeah. On a daily chart. If you get a pullback. Alright. Everybody got it? My thoughts? Opinion? That's your striking zone.
For the timing of that, I'm sorry, I keep having Wednesday questions. Yeah, whoever's drawing that black line, that was going to be my question.
Oh, that's me drawing that black line.
Oh, there you go. Whoever that guy is, I want to talk to him.
Unless somebody else drew it. No.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. That's what I just drew.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Well,
looks
praise
like it
God.
might catch a little bit up top. Is that where they intersect, that vortex? Is that maybe a good timing? Parabolic, or is that...
Yeah, if you can get there, it's around September. September something.
Okay.
Yeah, mid-September, I would say. Yep. So I'm gonna say if you do that and we don't do anything right now until September, then praise God. I don't think that's gonna be the case with the market where all the altcoins are on the daily chart, and of a total 3. I really don't think you're gonna play long. I think you're just gonna come here. It's just in my opinion. If I saw that the game was moving a lot slower on those charts, the total 3, the BTC.D, then yeah, September. But as it is, don't expect it to do that. But you're right, it is a vortex. As it is, it's going to be probably a nice, solid support.
Thank you.
Okay? All right. With that, I'll put a health there. So you guys kind of got it. And any other questions? XBD, my friends.
Well, yeah, it was. Yeah, good. Actually, I won money. It was Belfast.
House?
Just stopped.
No? Okay. Going once, going twice. All right, let's move on. Okay, make sure I caught the chat. Can I add BOM on base for Wednesday? Yeah, I can, Superfood. All right, so let me write down here, if you guys are tracking what's going on here for today, we're going to write down that XBD is a resistance hit, but still, and possible bullish support near 0.00076 to 71. All right, there it is. So I wrote that. BOMO. Okay, Superfood. All right, we're gonna look on Turbo on Wednesday and BOMO. Okay. Gracia. Okay, gracia. You're welcome. We're gonna look at Luna Classic, XRP, LUNC, and PEPE. Here we go. Last 3 for today. Our long program today. I'm way over time, but here's a Luna Classic. Let's see how we are. Okay. Back in June, I did not see a professional buying coming into this crypto. This means I would not place too much weight on VSA micro analysis just yet. In other words, there's no strong professional buying in the background. So let's see if that's changed over the last few months. We want to see the high volume on this down move. That's going to be something we want to see. But already a concern of note. I have 3 places where the support is. So if I do have high volume, I'm going to be more cautious if the high volume I see is greater than 1 and 2. Because that means that even if there's buyers, the buyers are losing. But because I don't see professional accumulation in the background, I want to be a little bit optimistic with that. And I'll be focusing on some of these supports. So let's take a look and I'll make a conclusion about how I'm thinking. Okay, I don't have the high volume accumulation, and even if I did, this volume is higher at the support, and then we come back down here and nothing. Okay, so I'm not looking for a strong incentive to come to the downside because of this volume. And I'll show you again where it's at. 1, 2, 3. So normally I would say, hey, we have a decrease in volume from this third area, so we're going to be a little bit more bullish. But at the same time, without the professional accumulation in the background, I don't want to put too much weight on the whole volume spread analysis at this moment. The only real, which leads us to the tops. Of the tops, on high up bars, I'm seeing high volume into weakness. So this is not good for me here. This high volume on the up bar, high volume into weakness. Weakness, I'm not going to trust this so much. I'm therefore going to view this in the context of lack of interest. So there's no real interest, and the thing that concerns me is that this is a support. So if I didn't have buying coming in, okay, if I didn't have buying coming in here, no buying, and I didn't have buying coming in here, no buying, and I don't have buying coming in here, how's the project supposed to thrive right now? Does that make sense, guys? How's the project supposed to thrive if there's no professional accumulation? Why is this not working? Green. There we go. Okay, where's the buyer supposed to come in? They're supposed to come in on those down bars and down moves. Where are they? They're not here. So I'm going to say no professional support. Just like I said back in June of this year. And I'm going to write this down so you guys know this. No professional support where it should be identified. And this is a monthly chart, guys. This is a big view. I'm not looking at 15-minute charts here. Okay, this is a monthly chart. So the larger story is that there's only selling identified. Selling, and then this one's selling too. Okay, there's our weakness. There's our weakness. Okay, so I'm going to try to clear my lines just to show you that one more time, a little bit organized, sorry, because I got a lot of lines going on. High drawings. Okay, only selling. Got it? Where's the buying? No buying. Okay, no professional support. Got it? Everybody understand my game on Luna Classic? Now, what is Robin saying about this lately? That it's not going to recover? It's probably right. Based on this data.
LUNC is junk.
At least for the time being. Yeah. If it was going to recover, it needed to do it here. We needed to start seeing the volume ramping up on that down and then the move into health. Now we have a health upcoming over possibly the course of the year or the next few years. But without the buying, it's going to be hard for there to be a proper liquidity, people taking profit. It's like there's no big players anyway. Unlike other projects. Okay. So I'm going to be viewing this as bearish. Any other questions? Going once. Going twice. Let's write this down in our findings here. We're going to write that Luna Classic is bearish longer term. Okay. No, so I'm going to be very bearish right now. We're going to look at XRP. Now we got to go to our last one, which was going to go to XRP, LUNC, and PEPE. Thank you for those who tarry with us. I hope this information is beneficial to you. I feel like a lot like a weatherman. Alright, let's go to our XRP charts. I got a few good ones. I'm bullish XRP. I've been bullish XRP, but the last health, let me take the larger screenshots. Here's one of my XRP charts. You guys can see it. It's like this. And I'm in this oscillation here. I'm also within this parabolic, which is strong here. Okay, this general shape. Look carefully. It goes along this corner like that. And we duplicate it up at the highest energy center. It's going to give us this range approximately here, closer to the high 3s to 4s. Okay, so that's how that works. So I already measured the area. And that's going to give me approximately these prices, 426 and 426. And the next one is around 348. Now we already hit 348. We hit it basically twice, 337 here, and then here we hit 357. So somewhere around these tops is where it's already the parabolic's already been fulfilled based on that. Okay, so this was already hit, and I just want to point that out real quick. One moment. Hit. So this is technically fulfilled. So now we're going to be looking, if we hit more, we're going to be looking on the wick side, which is again that 426. So if people are looking for another high on XRP, we're looking closer to now 426 is to be next. Okay, next. So let me move this one. Okay, hit. Now next is going to be this line right here. Okay, and we're going to put a health there, which we already have, and a resistance. Get me above there, and we can start talking about going to $11 to $12. Okay, so I'm going to put a star there, a star there, based on these areas. Okay, so 426 is next, and I'll circle these together so you guys know that is next, the number 426. Okay, now let's move on just a little bit clearer. We have a DP projection based on this angle, bringing us down to here, and a range between the wick area. So I'm going to be looking, since we're bouncing on the wick support, I'm going to be looking more to the wick of that DP. So that is going to give me this number, 499, over the month of September. So we're basically not looking to stop at 426, which is the conservative area. We're actually looking now to hit the wick match, which is the distance of this area here. Okay, so how that works, if I have the angle conservatively, but I can match it on the wick side, which we talk about on Wednesdays, then I'm going to use the distance of the wick side, especially if I can place it here and I have some confirmation that's where I'm hitting. So I'm bouncing on that area, so now I'm taking the larger oscillation, okay, rather than the smaller oscillation, which is just this area here. I'm actually going now larger, and I want to be thinking about that move. Does that make sense? Okay, so when I have that distance, now I have a more general idea about how far I'm supposed to hit. So now I duplicate it and place it up, and that's how I get the 499, which is $5. So that's going to be in alignment with some of the earlier prophetic stuff that I gave you guys last year, and some of the numbers I gave you guys last year or the last few years, where I'm thinking price is going to hit 5 and then 12. So remember a few years ago when I said that when price is getting to these $5 numbers, I think we're going to hit the 12. This seems to be likely to be the season, as a high chance. So I'm going to again say basically $5. Let's just change this coordinates to 5 to make it an even 5. Okay, $5, and then there's our $12. We're going to move this up the track, and it's going to be getting closer to 12. Right now it's 11:40. 12 is going to be somewhere a little bit later in the year. Okay, closer to November, and that's if it takes its sweet time. So these are going to move up and down the track, act like a resistance there, and then here's a health above here, and from here we can start moving up to the higher numbers, like $20, $18 over the next few months. So if it really takes off and XRP shoot to $19, $11, this is about the time when it should do that approximately. Okay, once we clear $5. Okay, any other questions, my thoughts, my opinions on XRP? I think this is about what you need right now. Okay.
That last wick that touches that flat, you think that's signifying that it won't go down lower than, like, it's already hit it?
This one right there, about
the one where it's currently at.
Oh, where it's currently at? It is a flat, isn't it? No, I don't think it's a flat. I think it's a parabolic. I really think it's that parabolic from earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant on the bottom side.
Oh, this side? That I'm already thinking that like a support right now.
So it's already hit it.
Core, it's already hit it, yeah. So now, that's important, Alex, because if you guys are looking for an entry, where's your entry? Now, that's right. It's basically now. I'll delete the other watch line. We had a watch line on the smaller daily chart. And right now we're basically at the sword cut of that area. So I'll give you the next modified watch line. It's there. So basically as close as you can to your main entries is where you want to strike. The next health above is 317. Otherwise I'm paying the low 297. If I can get away with 297, that's a good price. If I can get away with this support down here, or these supports down here, or the targets, praise God, I don't see that much bearishness on this until I'm underneath the parabolic here, and I don't even think we're going to get below that. This is going to move up. So I have supports at 278. Yep, I have supports at 278. And I'm sorry, 272. 297 is about the average. Otherwise, I want to pay above 317, and then I want to trade it there. Let's talk about money. The percentage of gain and growth from these supports, if we get them, is going to be closer to 54%. If you're just buying right now, paying current price, you're going to be looking at a gain, possibly a gain conservatively to 42%. And if again we hit that $5 number, which I believe we are, we're looking at 65%. So somewhere closer to 65% from current prices. I hope you guys do well. Any other questions? XRP. Okay, I'm really looking to get that number.
What number do we have to get over, like,
the next
to
smaller,
really accelerate there?
The 317. 317 is the next. That's your important number to beat right now. Then the big one. I think from here you're just going to make a mad dash to 5 and get squished back down. Okay, I think because this is conservative down here, so I think you're going to wick up there. If we get above there at 5, then we can start talking. Otherwise, this is where we're going to be going back. 426 again. 5 is important numbers. There's your 5 number. Here's your 426. Okay. We'll cover more of that as we get there. My big support along that track right there. Watch my crayon. There. Okay. Based on the foundational area. It's a curve. So we're looking there. Okay. This is the average area anyway. 297. That's about what you want to pay. But if you can get away with 270s, praise God. Are you going to get them right now while everything is hot? I don't know just yet. And is it really time for XRP to hit that $5 right now? I don't really know. At least until we get another health. All right. Any other questions? Going once.
Post the prophetic numbers.
Yep. And then the question is, do we see accumulation happening? We saw accumulation already happening at the $2 range, which we had a few years ago, or since I think earlier this year. Yeah, December here. Yeah, because I remember because we called it back before we even had it. We had this floor in the sky, based on some calculations at 2. So when price built above the 2, I already knew it was support. And for a few years, I told you guys that. That was from 2024 and this year. If you look, you already see the volume ramping up high on that area. So yes, you already have the accumulation needed. From what I measured, the high volumes on the down bars. This one's a more of a micro type. So you're reading individual bars on that $2 range. And so we covered this lots of times, but basically, yes, here it is. I'll just circle it for you in yellow. Here, high volume bars. Which is this one? That's that red one. Okay. There, and then there. So what is happening? If there's buying here, the supply is being what? Okay. We're seeing a decrease in volume. What is the buyers doing? Are they winning or losing? Anybody know? If there is buying, which those moves were into smaller helts, by the way. There's the
They're absorbing.
That's right, they're absorbing. So if they're accumulating, they have to not just go to the buffet, but they have to get out. The manager has to get mad. You go, stay 4 hours. It's not all you can eat. Stay 4 hours all day long. No. You ate all the food at the buffet. There's no more left. You're winning the war. Okay? So they're buying, they are accumulating because we see the decrease at those subsequent areas until we get to a no or low demand situation. Here is the low, here's the aggregately low situation right there. So therefore you have one. So that's absorption of supply. So they have control. The buyers are winning, therefore. Does that make sense? Okay. The buyers won or have a strong chance to win. When they own all the properties, you're going to see them raise up the prices of the rent. Just like Monopoly in real life. There comes a time when they win. Okay? We want to see them absorb the supply. So XRP should be higher. Therefore, we're looking for higher prices for XRP. Okay, buyers won. Buyers in control. That's why we put a little C on the end. Absorption / control. All right, let's move on. You guys got it? XRP looking good. Oh, some of the prophetic stuff. Let's see. Triple J, June 23rd, 180-degree turn. I see 175 XRP. That was a while back. In June, here 160, 150, 189. I don't know if those are going to be for the season, but look for us a sharp turn, possibly, when we hit a number in the future, when maybe we're going to hit $5 and then we'll see a turn. We'll have to look really carefully when those things will happen. And maybe there'll be another chance for us to get XRP before the flip of the switch type of moment. Maybe that's going to be at 11, 12, 20, something like that. Maybe we'll see a sharp decline.
JSong, those numbers already hit. The 189, that's when we went down to 160.
Oh, you're right.
That hit already.
Wait. I don't know if I wrote the... Oh, yeah. Here. June. I got the 189. I got the 163 in April. Not the 150, not yet, Triple J?
That's the only one that hasn't hit.
Okay.
But that's because the Lord told me, not yet.
Okay.
At that moment. And then that's why I said 150 later on. But all those numbers, all the way down to 160, it hit.
150 still on the board. Okay. So if we are able to get 150 XRP in the future, praise God. All right, we got some other numbers here. Here's some of the higher ones. Okay, from July. Not financial investment trading advice. Triple J gave us some of these numbers: 17, 28, 30, 32, 35, 47, 48, 50, 150, 175, 189, 212, 250, 320, 395. We're at the coming up to that 395 number in these areas. Then we get to some of the bigger ones. 402. That's going to be about right above there. And then 420, 498, that's going to be about where our $5, $9 is going to be one, and then $11. So that's going to be somewhere closer to our numbers here. And then we go to 17, 21, and 27. Our 17 to $21 is going to be right crossing that range of 19. And then 27 is going to be right about where these big numbers are. So a lot of those numbers that are in those days are around here. So that's great. So we're getting some numbers above here, above there, and then about right there. Okay, so those are going to be important numbers here. Okay, so 11, 17, 21, 27, those are all crossing over numbers. So that's a good help to us. Or most of them are crossing over numbers, not the 11. Okay. And this one is about where it should be. So this is going to point to here, matching.
Yeah, they're all benchmarks. Numbers to watch for.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Questions, thoughts? XRP before we go on. We got two more. And today's our extra long absorption. Good job, Bridget. You said absorption. That was right. Yep. Royal. The absorption game is being won. So that's fantastic. When you see that happen, you're looking for higher prices when prices move into health. Let's go to, I'm going to write this down. XRP bullish looking to hit 426 and then $5 areas. Okay, mid to long term. Next, okay, we got some higher numbers, but that's where. Two more. We're gonna go to LUNC and then PEPE. Let's go to this crypto and what I see on this larger term uptrend. Okay, let's see what I have. Okay, I didn't do any volume spread analysis on this. I don't, or at least wrote about it, but I did have my white arrows, which means I saw accumulation happening on this crypto. On the micro sense, not super large, but at these areas. Okay, no demand along that track. Where's my next health? All right, I'm gonna mark down a few health areas, but I'm gonna first put this on a monthly chart so we can see it more simplistic. This is a health area, 23 cents. Okay, so price breaking above here is actually quite good so far for this crypto. $23, sorry, $23.39. And that's based on the foundational area back here, duplicated, placed up here with a verification. The verification is when I place it here, I'm hitting it here and hitting it here. So this is therefore important. Got it? Angle, phantom, verified 1 and 2. Okay, in light blue. So this is going to be important. I'll put that up. Important resistance / support. Verification. Verification. This is going to be our phantom angle. This is our key angle. Okay, core. Verification. You guys got it? Everybody? So LUNC therefore has a real big chance. The question is, where are we going? We're going to need to update the DP projection. We're going to duplicate that and place it up here, so it's going to be somewhere there. We're going to do that in just a moment. This needs to be updated. I don't know where I got that from right now. Maybe that was a previous one, but we're going to update that. So let's do that now, and I'll show you this just to fix that. All right. Now, this is also going to tell us the type of top we're going to have. By the way, let's just take one moment. This angle, I'm matching here, core, the wicks are coming down, but what about all these candles that stick out underneath here? There's a weakness that appeared here, somewhere in that red circle. But when we came back down to the green, we bounced back up. How do I use that information where price went underneath there? How do I use that information to help me pick a top? How should I reconcile that area? The main weakness wasn't triggered, but that's a type of weakness. How does it affect my chart even if it's going up? Anybody know?
Mid phantom?
No, try again. We violated the rule, the core, by the cores building underneath here. So this angle now needs to be adjusted somehow to compensate for that, and it's going to affect the future. It's disrespecting the angle. It's something like a mid phantom, but it's
Adjusting the wicks for the wicks.
We could adjust for the wicks. That's one answer. If I bring it down to the core first, this wick hits, this doesn't, and neither does this. And if I bring it down to the low, they definitely don't hit. There's another answer. I'll hide my line so you guys can see it. See if anyone knows the answer. What is it?
It's parabolic.
Parabolic, that's right. That's correct. Good job, iPad. Good job, Firecracker. You want to draw and compensate for that angle. Okay. Once you have that angle, you're going to duplicate the angle and put it at the top. Straight up and down, it's going to be there, and therefore it's going to give us a top that's going to be a little sooner than some people want. If it was just straight, our top is going to be a little higher, but now it's going to bring it down a little bit lower. Does that make sense? Okay. It also highlights the weakness and health, which is good, and we can still continue to use the areas of health when we have them. So we're going to find those healths, but that's going to be a major adjustment for LUNC. So let's do that right now. put it on the board. See if I can take the whole bottom there, and we'll do this. Stretch it out. Collect as many of these bottoms as possible. Oops. If we're able to get them all, praise God. Okay, I can't get this one, so there's going to be that. $183 in the next months if we were going. So now we have an emergency high, some kind of high, like price is really going high. Where's our top? There's our top, approximately. There's another resistance, another parabolic that I want to draw based on just this course. So if I cannot collect this, there's an average that is based on this stuff, and I'm going to give this to you with a different color, make it solid so you guys can see it. So this guy, and he's going to give me a little bit lower, so I'm going to give you both of those, and we'll watch those as potential resistances. So now we're taking more of our recent oscillation, and we're taking the original oscillation as we see it, adjusted. Okay, one more line I'll show you on the chart and why I'm a little bullish. That. Approximately that. Okay, now, yeah. This is a 2-month chart, and overall on these monthly charts, the core is still here in this area with the black line, this top. I'm going to be looking at this as a good thing, okay? Here, and that break above that day, I would love to see that on high volume, that bar right there. I want to see that on high volume. And then this is support. It's okay to see lack of interest after we've already popped up. That's what we want to see. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there was a crypto we looked at showing that exact scenario. Let's take a look. Do I have high volume in the month of November and lower volume following? There it is, just like we called it. Look, there it is. There's your high volume bar right there in November. Praise God. And the following months, lack of support. What the heck is that? This is going to be therefore a push. And this is going to be lack of interest. Okay. That's how we look at that. I'll show you the crypto we were just looking at at the beginning, a few hours ago, since today's a very long program. But I hope you guys are getting it more and more every time. Take a look. We looked at a crypto called, there it is, right there, SHX. Earlier today, when we looked at SHX, we saw the push where we wanted, and then following, we saw the lack of, right there, this one, right there. Okay, where my mouse is moving, you guys see it? That's the same type of scenario. We have push, the next 3 bars, down bars, lack of interest. That's a good sign of bullish health, especially if the thing is into health. Do you understand? Make sense? Okay, here's a similar. We're looking at a 2-month chart, a push, and then lack of interest after that. The move is into health, right? There's the down move. There's a health. That's a good sign that this is going to continue higher. Okay, so if I'm looking at a crypto, I'm going to say that's what I want to see. Got it? All right. Okay, the money that's on the table from here, if we're able to continue up to this parabolic resistance on average, 300%. Not bad. Not bad. I hope that blesses you if you're able to get it. Okay, 300% if we're able to get a move there. Do I have any other questions, comments, thoughts regarding this crypto? This is a very longer term one, LUNC, but I like it. Don't be surprised if it does fairly well. Fairly well, Olga. Okay. Okay, our last smaller health has passed. These are the targets we gave you guys, and we're at a target now. We broke above that target that was hit, so we need to fade this away. I'll delete that date and just fade it away. Delete this number. We hit that number, and we're using that right now as a stepping stone. That one's hit. The smaller one is up and coming right now. So that's our next target. We're at that target. Ideally, we'll have time to build above here. Yeah, that's basically it. $23. All right. Any other questions, thoughts regarding this crypto? We'll have to go a little bit in depth another day But overall, longer term, I think it's going to do well. All right, let's move on. I got the last crypto. So I'm going to be bullish, long to short term, long and short term, or I'll put mid-term since I can give short term a better look. But right now we don't got the time. Pepe, last one for today. Here it is, Binance. We got a chart like this. Whew. Working me a sweat. Professional accumulate or large buying coming in. Let's see if it's a strong professional accumulation. Not super strong, but there's enough buying going on. Not enough to make me add it to our list, but I saw buying coming on this chart. The next one has to happen approximately before this last move down. It's going to be this move right there, this large move down where my mouse is. And I got a strong consistency on the way down with the move into health on pushing volume. So I'm going to look at that as some accumulation. So that's a good thing. Okay. I'll just quickly highlight it, what I was looking at. Okay. There's our consistent area. 1, 2, 3 on all the down moves here. The move is into health, followed by the push. Good. The move down after that is on lack of interest. That's going to be that move down. That's going to be this move down here. Lack of interest, which means they already did what they needed to do. There's no more trading left to trade down here, basically, for the most part. Or large interest by the professionals. They're now going to be looking to launch a campaign soon, most likely. Usually after this, all you have to do is look for the next health. In this case, the health is a flat. So we're going to draw a flat here, and that's your entry, or approximately. That means you're looking to get above those prices, which is still on the board, so we don't have to really update them. 0.000015. From here, we'd be looking to move up. Okay. Here's another high volume move, and maybe that we're trying to push it, but the move down there, it's not really selling because there's no big interest on the way down. So there's no big selling campaign. Volume's not ramping up on the selling bars on the next down move. So I'm going to say we're still going to be looking to be bullish in this area. The bulls are still winning the battle. Of this, we're now going to update the next angles. So that's a larger support. Okay. And then I'll give you the smaller support, which I just showed you. It's a flat. Okay. The targets are basically hit on these sides, so we can delete these. That one's not really being respected, but that was respected. This one was here. This target up at 0.0002 has not been hit, so we're going to bring that up to the board. And the money that's on the table up to that target from current prices are 103%. So 103% to that area, 105 looks like, 105% from here to there. Not bad. Let's take a look to see if we get another entry. We could do something like that, and that wick matches. So those are going to be our 2 health. I don't like this health because there's little room before we hit the resistance. But I do like that one. If it happens later in the year, then there's more room. But as it is right now, I will stretch this bar out, type the prices. Does anybody have any other questions regarding PEPE? 4013, 4014. PEPE. I think it's going to do well. And it's probably going to do well soon. Strong uptrend, cutting those health. Accumulation where we want to see accumulation. Project's going to do good.
Hey, JSong.
Hey, Superfood.
Oh, sorry. Let's say you have you want to get your last buy-in for PEPE. Your lowest is it what is that? 6036 is considered the 299. Do you see it going down down there?
If it goes down lower, it looks like you got a flat. If you can, and the number is going to be
5.7. Okay.
Yeah, 5.7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, 5.7 too, by the way. It's going to be quite easy to see though, Superfood. You got a parabolic on the downside. So if you get it, then set your orders. Otherwise, I wouldn't bet so high that we're going to go down just yet. So I would say if you get below there, look to buy at that price. Okay? You're probably going to be able to get your PEPE at that price.
Yeah, and you're right. This one is gonna be epic. Just want to get one last buy-in before.
Yeah. Otherwise, you want to just pay right now these prices, because if I'm trying to buy at the support price is supporting on that parabolic, it's quite easy to see along here. So we're basically there. So if you buy here, if it was me, I wouldn't be so opposed to getting right now. Otherwise, I just want to wait a little bit longer for the next health, if you get it, which is just about right
Gotcha.
there. So
Yeah, it was just a heads up for those that don't have any. Don't miss out on this.
okay.
All right, thank you, Jason.
Yeah, no problem, Superfood. And if we hit those real big numbers, here's like 420%.
Ah, that's what we want.
The larger yellow's around 655%. And that's the phantom based on this. And I think the angle's solid. That's my foundational angle. My mid phantom should be, if this is the mid phantom, which I have support on, then the DP for that really is this one up there. And there's 655% up to that one. Superfood. I mean, the number is dynamic positive. So if I had this, I'd be setting my limits at 0.00078. So again, if I had some at this price and I hit, that's 687%. It's just massive. And it's only going higher because it's a dynamic positive number. So if it takes longer, you can do really well. Just as at a minimum, I think this project is going to be good, which probably explains why there's professional buying going on in here.
Yes, exactly. This is like an investment grade opportunity right here. This is, I don't want nobody to sleep on PEPE. This is the OG right here. Everybody was surprised on the first run, but this one I think is going to be bigger. And I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Now, it's not a strong ramping up, but it's a lot like the XRP type, where they just picking out that price. So whoever the professionals are in this example, what they're doing is they're just saying, I want to pay that price. Every time it's coming down here, that's where you're seeing the buying. They're not just ramping up on the down move. But you can see it in some of those moves of health and lack of interest. They don't want to pay those higher prices just yet. So that's basically what is happening in the volume. Okay? That's what is happening that I see. And then the consistency and volume. So this project's ramping up, but there is some people who are really taking profits here. They knew to take profits there. That's a good thing, just on one move. But after that, there wasn't much profit taking. So I'm going to say that this is just letting it find a base. We're probably going to need another push coming up into this area. Like I said, that flat, that 4014, look for that. And that would be your confirmation that this is going to be time to take off. Otherwise, if it comes back down to here again, look where it's at. It's still at the flat. Okay? The DP of this area up here, that's about right here. And it's closer to the larger uptrend. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get these prices. I would want those prices, because they're about a strong vortex where you're going to see this is probably the last time you get something really good. Okay? All right. Anyway, any other thoughts, comments? PEPE. Okay.
JSong, I got one last question, man. You've been so generous with your time today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was just checking out USDT.D in the close last night. I think at 8. It's gone up a little bit. And just wondering if you had any quick looks and thoughts.
No, still bearish.
Same thing. Still heading down.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some wiggle room. We definitely have a lot of wiggle room.
Okay.
And I think we're really getting to where they're. All right.
Thank you.
No problem. And that's going to conclude all for today, my friends. I'll put on here PEPE so you guys can see. I'm going to be bullish if a new breakout happens, but accumulation identified. Okay, and I'll put that USDT.D bearish, just so you guys remember. So that means equals a bullish cryptos. Father, we bless you for today. We thank you for this time. And I pray that you'd give us comfort, peace in our hearts. I pray that you'd give us a spirit that's renewed in your spirit, one that's desiring to follow you. May we always be on guard against all kinds of greed. May we not be overcome by our flesh or fleshly desires. Let us put to death the fleshly desires, crucify the man and crucify the flesh, and walk according to the Spirit. Let us be alive in you. You are the most biggest and important part of our life. I thank you that you give us skill and knowledge of all kinds of things that we put our hands to. Everyone in this community, whatever we put our hands to, whether it's a chart, a crypto, or whatever, we put our hands to, and then may you bless us. Lord, you're our number one, our most important, and all else fades away and pales in comparison. I thank you for your love for us. Forgive us for all of our great and wicked sins. Let us not be overcome by that greed. And when it's time to follow you and what you may reveal, I pray that you reveal to each person their hearts. And everything said in prophetic will act a lot like confirmation rather than a leading, because you've been speaking to all of us. So may you speak to us more and more every day, and let us find you where you are at. May you seek you while you may be found. We love you. We thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. I'll be right back for any final questions. I won't look into new cryptos. God bless you guys. We'll be back. Here's the schedule. Wednesday, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll take a look at those cryptos we didn't get to today. Jam-packed episode. Take a screenshot right now if you need for what we were doing today. Okay. So let me move my hips. You can take one side. My hips never lie. Okay. All right, guys. God bless you.